after Week 8 here. Maybe that's not where you guys want it to be, but all things considered, you're looking at a playoff position right now, and there's still lots of time to make a run in the playoffs. How do you go into these final 2 weeks in preparation for that?
I just prepare as typically as we normally would. Been around this league long enough to know that, this year we've seen a lot of parity and that anything can happen on any game day. And so it's the one thing for us is to continue to grow and get better every play, every rep. In practice, every opportunity we got in practice to get better, and we know that we're in the playoffs, so now it's depending on who we face in that first round, we just got to be prepared for that one game, and we got to build to that. We can't be complacent, and we just got to continue to build to where we feel we can go into that game and get a win.
Let's talk a little bit about Week 3 back in Langley. Again, the Sun beat you guys in, but to be honest, it was a pretty close game for a lot of those 60 minutes. What did you notice? Well, maybe let's start with on the defensive side of the ball for you guys in that game.
Well, defensively, we thought our guys flew around and made plays and that, but we had a lot to work on as well. We needed to make sure we tackled better and we developed. And so Week 3, really, you're just starting to get everything going on your team. You're starting to put players in positions that you feel is right. And, I think that's the best opportunity that we can have. So.
And as you prepared for this week against the Sun, obviously they put up some big offensive numbers against teams, but last couple of weeks they've also seen adjustments from opposing defenses that have held them to more reasonable totals. What did you guys do to prepare for that matchup this week?
We just take them week by week. We make evaluations on every game that they played since Week 1. We look at all that film and we create a game plan accordingly, and then just focus on us about executing that game plan. We don't ever want to take into consideration if we feel our opponent is on a slide or is on a high even. It's even keel for us. We need to approach every game each week the same way and with the same intensity, the same emotion, the same passion. If we don't, we can lose to any team in this league, and that's the reality of things. But if we can play, we can play with any team in this league, we feel. So, it's a two-sided coin there, and we just need to make sure that we end up being on the right side.
And offensively, preparing for this week, starting quarterback not in the lineup here today, but it's going to be Colby, I guess, who's going to take the lead and run with it here this week.
Yeah, and the beauty of that is they both had experience taking the helm for our clubs, and they've both played well. So, we feel like we're confident in Colby, we're confident in his abilities and his leadership, and being able to run the offense. So for us, it's a bit of an adversity, but for us, we need to face adversity head on and take it as another step towards where we need to be.
Last question for you. On the offensive side, again, you guys have a running game that features multiple players, two especially. The Sun are doing a good job this year of shutting down opposing run games. How do you establish that early here today?
Well, and that's kudos to the Sun. Their front seven is a good front seven. Their defensive coordinator, Nathan Mollard, I know well. He's a good football coach, good football mind. Their assistant head coach, Jamie Borum, he's a good friend of mine as well, and I know that they're a good football mind. So, especially from the defensive side of things, and that they can take away those pieces. So for us, offensively, we just need to execute. We need to make sure we're making our blocks. We need to make sure we're finishing our blocks. We need to make sure that we're executing our timing and our clean handoffs, our clean snaps. Every single thing counts, and especially against a good team like the Sun, where you're faced, with every play they're going to come at you. You need to be able to be prepared and execute. And really, that's at the end of the day, that's the word I'll use with my guys is we need to execute. Everything isn't just about the X's and O's. The X's and O's can be there, but if we don't execute and we don't do it with emotion and passion, there's no point. I feel this game's played with emotion, it's played with passion, played with heart. You got to wear it on your sleeve in order to be successful, and that's what we need to do this week, I feel.
Coach, thanks for this. Good luck going forward.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
That is the head coach of the Langley Rams, Jeff Alamalota, speaking before today's game. Made reference to the fact that starting quarterback for the Rams, Ryland Matters, not going to be in the lineup for them today. On the other side of the break, we're going to chat with the head coach of the Sun, Ben McCauley, and spoiler alert, Rams not the only ones playing without a starting quarterback in this afternoon's game. We'll leave the rest to the head coach, Ben McCauley. That's coming up next here as we roll through our pregame show. Okanagan Sun football right here on AM 1150.
I knew it was a pretty special project. Just the way it was situated, the view is stunning. It's a really nice house.
Gord Turner on the house his team built that won House of the Year at this year's Tommy Awards.
The way the deck flies out off the house, and it's got this thin foil look that the architect was looking for. And again, I can't say enough, our team, we helped them pull that off.
To see this dream home for yourself or to book Turner Custom Homes to build your next dream home, visit turnercustomhomes.ca.
Win or lose, touchdown or turnover, JDS Energy and Mining is proud to support local sports in Kelowna. They believe it's important to put youth at play where they can learn to be leaders. They believe in the habits and values learned from working in a team. They believe the skills today youth learn in organized sports will strengthen our community. JDS Energy and Mining, a proud community partner of local sports in Kelowna and your Okanagan Sun.
At some dealerships, you may find the price you like, but you have to settle on the vehicle.
They only had taupe.
At Orchard Ford, you don't have to settle. With the largest new vehicle inventory in BC. It might be why they're the #1 selling retail Ford dealer in the province for the second year in a row, thanks to you. And at #1 in customer satisfaction in both sales and service. Plus, for a limited time, take advantage of Ford employee pricing and the $1,000 Costco rebate. Family owned and operated, you can trust Orchard Ford. Highway 97 North across from Scandia and at orchardford.com.
Take an adventure along Kelowna's Fab 5 wine trail. Pick up the amazing Great Passport at any Fab 5 winery. Then visit all 5 wineries to fill it in. Drop it off at your final location for a chance to win great prizes. Kelowna's Fab 5 wineries. Exquisite wines and an authentic wine country experience. House of Rose, Camelot, The Vibrant Vine, Spearhead, and The View Winery. Visit all 5. Fill in your passport. The Amazing Grape. September 29th to October 9th. Must be 19 or older.
In today's economy, many individuals, families, and businesses are struggling just to make minimum payments to their creditors.
I'm Charlie Pete of Four Pillars Consulting Group. With an A+ Better Business Bureau rating and over 10 years in the Okanagan, we've demonstrated our commitment to help resolve your financial situation by providing you with all the information required to make an informed decision. In most cases, you can avoid bankruptcy, reduce your debt, and enter into an affordable repayment plan.
Four Pillars Consulting Group, debtfreeinbc.ca, debtfreeinbc.ca.
Hi, this is Cassidy from Express Flooring. Growing up, it must have been tough for my brother. Not being the favorite, I mean. Speaking of favorites, Corkback Vinyl Click is all the rage right now. Great for basements, commercial spaces, and it's super water resistant. Only $3.99 a square foot. It's the favorite. And don't we all prefer that? I mean, really.
Express Flooring, the family flooring store next to Bubbles Car Wash on Springfield.
This is Okanagan Sun football. Hear it, live it on AM 1150.
Welcome back to Kelowna and the Apple Bowl, site of this afternoon's game between the Langley Rams and the Okanagan Sun. Just about 13 minutes, little less than that away from the anthems and then kickoff here under a cloudy sky that was raining pretty hard a little bit earlier in the morning. Even had a little bit of hail touchdown here at the Apple Bowl, but fortunately it looks like things are clearing up for the most part. Knock on wood, we should have a fairly clear sky here for the game this afternoon. As mentioned before the break, had a chance to, as always, speak with both head coaches before the game. Took an opportunity to speak with Ben McCauley here, coming off a couple wins on the road last couple weeks. Those happening in Chilliwack and Kamloops, respectively. Back here at home for the final home game of the regular season against the Rams, and I asked him how his team got to prepare this week.
So heading into this week, obviously a big game, final home game of the regular season against a team that, like we talked about earlier this week, played you pretty well for most of the game back in week 3. How did you prepare for the Rams this week?
Well, we did a lot of getting back to basics, and we took the foot off the gas a little bit on contact. We've, got to heal up from some injuries. We were pretty beat up the last few weeks, so we put a priority on just getting better, getting healthy, and having high tempo practices without tons of contact. So, kind of ramping up intensity as the week went on, and we had a good week of practice, a Sunday game, so an extra day of mental preparation. So. I feel like we took advantage of it, and we'll see if I'm right about that come game time.
Yeah, let's talk about injuries a little bit, because it is part of the story of your team right now. Like you mentioned, guys are banged up at this time of year, but in terms of the offense and what they're dealing with right now, Shamar out of the lineup this week. What other injuries, and what's the status of him going forward?
Yeah, we're still a little bit beat up. Shamar is going to be out for the foreseeable future. Connor Novak's out. Cole Kluhart's out. Some of the stalwarts of our defensive line. Sean Robinson's out with a knee injury. We don't know when we'll see him again. We started to get some of the other guys back. Zach Newman has been out for a long time with a separated shoulder, and I think he's ready to go pretty soon. But and then Keith Zyla is also out. So we're still playing with a bit of a second string crew, but we think our second string guys are good enough to be starters, and that's part of why we go out and build up so much depth in the off season, and hopefully that they'll be able to perform at the level we expect them to, and then as guys get healthy, we'll have another full complement coming into playoffs.
Yeah, you talk about some of the injuries to your D line right now, but if I guess there is a bit of a silver lining, you did get some guys back in the secondary, Beck and Trey back out there this week.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be great having Beck back out there. I think, it's one of those things where I think he could probably sit, but he decided he's going to play through whatever pain there is. And, he's a 22-year-old who sees the end of his junior career coming and decided he wants to play. And, that means a lot, not only to him and the coaching staff, but to the rest of the team. It really sends a message of, really striking while the iron's hot and taking this opportunity that you're given. So, and having Trey back out there, he's just an assignment sound guy and he contributes on special teams. So bonuses for those guys. And, I think everybody else is feeling good, and, adding those guys back in makes us that much better.
With Nick Wenman back at quarterback today, obviously he got in last week a little bit against Kamloops, but are you comfortable, just given the amount that he's been able to play and the comfort level that he's established at times this season, are you confident in his ability to get back out there and not really miss a beat?
Yeah, we're really happy now with the decision we made earlier in the year to stick with him for longer and give him more playing time, because that experience is going to come in handy today. He's been here before, not as a starter, but he's been in these situations before as these games become more meaningful. So he should be able to rely on that experience. The guys know he can get the job done, so there's a confidence from the team, confidence from the coaching staff. We want to set him up for success, so we're going to try our best to call plays that make sure he feels confident and comfortable out there. So, and we want to stay in attack mode, and that's kind of been our focus this week with him.
And looking at defending the Rams, matchup has you up against a team who has one of the top receivers in the league. They've also run the ball with a couple of guys pretty well this season. How do you shut down some key aspects of their game?
Well, it's just doing what we do best, which is good tackling and ball control. Not turning the ball over. I think we're something like plus 20 on the year for turnovers, and that's not a mistake. That's something we practice over and over and over again. And this week was no difference. We want to capitalize on their mistakes, and we've got such a good defensive front that we can force guys into making mistakes, and our DBs have been great at capitalizing on turnovers. So if we can get a few more of those, and play good ball control offense and manage the clock on the coaching side of things, then we'll be in good shape.
Last thing, I mean, you mentioned that Sean Robinson's out, and obviously he's been a big part of this team so far this year. Who are guys that you're looking to step up in his absence?
Guys like Cody Thompson and Tyler Going are two guys who are quite capable and would likely be starters in most places in the league. And the benefit of having a deep linebacking group is guys who can play other positions. And Cody's been all over special teams, and Tyler as well. We think Tyler's going to be one of the great linebackers of the future here. It's just a chance for him to get to shine a little bit earlier than we would like. Sean's a great player. He's done a great job of stepping in and kind of showing the guys what kind of level we can play at. He's nothing more wishing that he could be out there right now, but there's a bunch of good guys who are stepping up in his wake, and we don't miss a beat on the tackling part of things, but the aggression part is something that Sean led with. So we're hoping that some of those guys will step up and fill that role.
Coach, thanks for this. Good luck this afternoon.
Thanks, Evan.
That is the head coach of the Okanagan Sun, Ben McCauley, chatting pregame today about how his banged-up team is going to fare this afternoon, of course, hoping to keep the unbeaten streak alive here at the Apple Bowl. Take another break, come back, wrap up our pregame show, then look ahead to kickoff. You're listening to Sun Football here on AM 1150.
White's Barbecue and Fireplace Center for all things barbecue.
Hey, baby, it's the king here, the Brawl King, that is. And these grills have got me all shook up. Cast iron, stainless steel, propane, and natural gas. Reassembly. Where can a man get a Brawl King of a deal like that?
White's Barbecue and Fireplace Center, corner of Springfield and Spall, for all things barbecue. White's. Put some sizzle on it.
You can rely on the Kelowna Mr. Lube team to ensure your vehicle is ready for those long road trips or just in-town driving with fluid and filter changes and so much more. Get fast, convenient oil changes, no appointment necessary, and enjoy full tire service with the same no appointment status. Plus, they're open late till 8. Take good care with Mr. Lube Kelowna, across from Superstore behind Skogie's, and coming this fall at 948 McCurdy Road, proud supporter of your Okanagan Sun.
The perfect fit for you. Stores and services, all you need to suit your Okanagan lifestyle. When you're busy and on the go, we make your time worthwhile. So much more than just a mall. Orchard Plaza has it all. Orchard Plaza, the perfect fit for you. Orchard Plaza, the perfect fit for you.
Is your Mac making the carries? Is your hard drive running the yards? Simply Computing has been around for over 30 years, almost as long as the Okanagan Sun. They know a thing or two about making sure your machine is at peak performance. Visit Simply Computing for all your Apple needs, from trade-ins to extended warranties and much more. Simply Computing has you covered. Shop downtown at 1546 Pandosy or online at simply.ca. Simply Computing, Apple specialists since 1984.
Broneg Contracting believes in giving back to our community. For the past 8 years, they've been a proud corporate sponsor of the Okanagan Sun. Broneg Contracting is also a proud supporter of the Okanagan Charity Classic Golf Tournament. Proceeds from the 2017 Okanagan Charity Classic will be donated towards assisting underprivileged children to play in organized sports. Other proceeds will also go towards the Canucks Autism Network for Kids. Broneg Contracting, a proud supporter of the Okanagan Sun. A one-of-a-kind massage, innovative water care, and features to keep water hot and operating costs low. Enjoy the very best hot tub experience in a hot spring hot tub from Sunshine Pools and Spas. Let the powerful combination of massage and hot water work for you. After a long, stressful day, relaxing is easier than ever in a hot spring hot tub from Sunshine Pools and Spas, Kelowna's premium hot tub supplier, at the corner of Springfield and Spall.
If it's time for a new ride, your timing is perfect. The selection has never been better at Kelowna Auction World. Come turn on the car you really want.
Set it up, ready to get it in gear. The super sale is here.
Enjoy low pricing on a huge selection of pre-owned vehicles on the auction block and ready to drive home. Auction starts this Saturday at 10 a.m. at Kelowna Auction World, Highway 97 North.
Get it in gear. The super sale is here.
You're listening to Okanagan Sun Football on AM 1150.
Welcome back to the Apple Bowl anthem over here just a few minutes from kickoff as players and officials, captains from either team heading out to midfield for the coin toss. Just quickly here, Carson, we'll talk a little bit more about the quarterbacks in the game as we get to it, but in the interview with Coach McCauley, you heard about some of the issues the defense is facing. Sean Robertson at linebacker is out. That's a big loss. Cole Kluhart off the D-line. That's a big loss for the Sun here on the defensive side of the ball today. How are they going to try and keep themselves in stride with two big names out of the lineup on the defensive side?
Sorry about that.
Sorry about that. Some technical issues. Here we go.
Yeah.
Defensive side of the ball. Injuries. Here we go.
Injuries. Yeah, the defense, they do have the depth to really cover up well for those spots.
but all of those guys, like, just looking around the league, I'd be hard-pressed to keep them out of all-Canadian voting contention. So losing somebody of that caliber is going to be a huge blow to any defense. But the Sun have incredible depth all throughout their lineup, so I'm not too worried about it. But we are going to have to see how the replacements step up in this game.
Kickoff coming up next. Our one final break. We'll take it right now, then come back. It's kickoff between the Sun and the Rams next.
Win or lose, touchdown or turnover, JDS Energy and Mining is proud to support local sports in Kelowna. They believe it's important to put youth at play where they can learn to be leaders. They believe in the habits and values learned from working in a team. They believe the skills today youth learn in organized sports will strengthen our community. JDS Energy and Mining, a proud community partner of local sports in Kelowna and your Okanagan Sun.
You put your back out. We put your back in. Spinal manipulations and deep muscle treatment. Just two of our specialties at Sun City Physiotherapy. Downtown on St. Paul, in North Glenmore, and on Main Street in Winfield. Sun City Physiotherapy. We help you get better. You run. You ache. We fix. Running injuries, we treat those. Muscle and joint injuries, just one of our specialties at Sun City Physiotherapy. Downtown on St. Paul, in North Glenmore, and on Main Street in Winfield. Sun City Physiotherapy. We help you get better.
It starts here. This is Okanagan Sun football on AM 1150.
And good afternoon, and once again, welcome here to the Apple Bowl in Kelowna for the Okanagan Sun taking on the visiting Langley Rams here from Kelowna for the final Sun home game of the regular season. Players just out getting ready to kick this ball off. It is the Sun who come away with the toss, and so it'll be the Rams kicking through to them.
Yeah, Connor Richard lined up deep. I really want to see him get a big return, just as a former linebacker who always would have liked to have the speed to be a returner. Just want to see the ball in his hands as often as possible. Oh, and we have a delay of some sort going on now.
As we welcome in all our viewers here on Shaw TV Okanagan, live on TV in Kelowna, as well as our viewers on the live stream BCFC TV who are tuning in here on AM 1150 in Kelowna as well. Carson Park, we're a little bit everywhere today, but happy to be here as we're awaiting kickoff here between the Rams and the Sun. A little bit of a delay in the kickoff here. That's our fault on the TV side of things, so sorry to the folks here, but we're just waiting a minute or two to get to kickoff here. You mentioned here Connor Richard, linebacker for the Sun, is lined up deep as a potential returner, position that we've seen him fill, Carson, over the last couple weeks, coming in and the regular linebacker, just doing a little bit of everything here on special teams, a kickoff returner.
Yeah, well, it is maybe a little unfair to call him a regular linebacker.
Far from irregular, you're right.
He's more of a all-Canadian safety who happens to be a little bit too big to play safety. So he flies around on that football field, and as big of a lead blanket as the Sun defense is, he's really the heart of it. Like, even on a dominant D, he stands out.
Well, a good point at that, too, because in speaking with Coach McCauley, he even had him playing halfback last week as there were injuries in the Sun secondary and moving things around there. And so Coach McCauley saying, yeah, you know, it's a spot where he's not necessarily the most comfortable, but he stepped up in a big way, ended up playing in the secondary a little bit last week. And so with the injuries, a story here for the Sun, we'll, of course, get to that throughout the broadcast here this afternoon. But for now, it's time for kickoff. Wayne Palmer lines this one up and boots it down Richard's side of the field, and this game is underway. Richard at the 20-yard line picks up the ball, breaks a couple tackles, still on his feet out past the 40, and that's where he'll get brought down and send the Sun on offense here.
That was a pretty exciting return there. I don't know if anyone was watching the NFL this morning, but I foolishly did not put Bilal Powell on my fantasy team. And he had an incredible hurdle that looked quite similar to that, only managed to get up and score again. Connor taking the contact, and if it's not being the NFL, you're down when you're on the ground.
Yeah, exactly. Good 30 plus a little bit, I think, plus a yard or two return there for Richard. So it can be 1st and 10 here for the Sun on their own 42-yard line. Nick Wenman under center. Play action right off the bat. That pass incomplete. Threw it behind Kyler Mosley. bringing up second down here. As mentioned, Nick Wenman back getting the start this week. He pretty well split time down the middle with Keith Zyla last week against Kamloops, but Zyla, who had an injury to deal with earlier in the season, missed 5 weeks of the season. He ends up retweaking that injury and not starting here for the Sun this afternoon. So it's Wenman back to pass here to the shotgun. Second down and 10. Pump fake one time. He finds Falconer here on the sideline, cutting to the outside. Jesse Falconer, rather, that's Spencer Schmidt. My apologies. Who was rookie receiver lined up in the slot like Falconer often is there. But Schmidt, his first catch of the game, not enough for a first down. Going to be third down and about a yard here for the Sun at their own 50-yard line.
Yeah, that was good pump and dump down, but you need to get that extra last couple yards there coming up short. Oh, they're going for it here under I.
Third down. I formation. The pitch is to the running back, who is
Richard in the backfield, and it looks like he got right to the sticks. We'll see where they give him a spot.
Yeah, boy, he came close there, but
they're marking first. Not even a measurement. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I think the Rams are a little bit too, as their D came up solid there, right near that line of scrimmage, like you say. But the ball spotted at the 52-yard line for the Sun. So Richard is the tailback on that play, coming away with a first down for Okanagan. First and 10 here. Going to be a handoff. Robbie Rodriguez breaks one tackle, now jukes another. He's at the 30-yard line, over it, and gets ripped down to the ground. What a rumble by Robbie Rodriguez, getting the Sun deep into Rams territory.
God, those little shifts as he runs down the field they're not quite like a Barry Sanders style shift, but just causing guys to trip over themselves by convincing you he's turning one way and then braking. And it's only a 2-yard turn, but it is effective.
Big hole opened up there on the left side of the offensive line for him on that run, and then one more move to get past the defenders is a huge run there. With a screen pass here on the far side on first down, brought down a couple of yards back of the line of scrimmage there was Nate Anderson. And so it'll be a second and long situation here for the Sun. Anderson, the top receiver the last week in the game against the Broncos, picking up 2 touchdown catches, his team's only 2 touchdowns in a 20-10 win of the Broncos.
Yeah, it was nice to see somebody have a huge breakout game for the Okanagan. They have a huge arsenal of weapons and really have struggled to have anybody put together a huge game for them.
Wenman out of the gun in the one-back set. Rodriguez to block. Wenman trips and falls, though, as he was rolling out to his left, falls before the 35-yard line. And so that is going to be third and even longer, and this will send the kicking team out onto the field here for the Sun.
That was one thing we didn't get a whole lot of chance to talk about before the game started, is that little bit of weather we had this morning.
Yeah.
Interesting, I didn't get a chance to walk the field at all before the game started, so I'm not sure how soggy it is, but I'm sure that's going to make an impact in this game.
Yeah, it's a good point. Here is the punt team on the field for the Sun. It's Matt Panatoni back to kick this one away. Rolls out to his right, then takes a kick. That one angled towards the sidelines. It's going to fall out of bounds at right about the 15, I think the 16-yard line of the Rams here, but good field position for the Sun to force Langley back near their own goal line here, just ahead of that 15-yard line.
Yeah, pretty good kick. Panatoni loves doing those little rollout kind of running soccer kicks.
Yeah.
And would have liked to have seen it almost land in bounds if possible, get inside that 10-yard line. But not a bad kick, good position.
Colby Peters, quarterback, playing out of the shotgun set here on first and 10 from the Rams on their own 16. Handoff there, up the far side, rolling out across to the 30-yard line there. Oh, the Rams' big carry. That was a reverse to receiver Nick Agnoletto, and he's going to pick up a first down there on a nice run.
Yeah, that was a real nice run. Him and Richard got in a little wrestling match for the football there, and he won the match and escaped the tackle, rolled through another couple tacklers for a good 6-7 yards. And it looks like Richard is playing halfback today out here on our near side.
15-yard gain there for Agnoletto. First and 10 from the 31-yard line for the Rams. No back set here for Langley. This pass goes up the middle and swatted away. Oh, almost picked off there.
That was almost really good on 2 counts for the Sun and almost really bad on 1, as Richard really should have gone for the pick there. I think he was surprised at how much time he had when he went for that swat.
Yeah, good point.
And instead of swatting it towards his safety there, Fullerton, he swats it under Fullerton's foot, who almost rolls his ankle a bit. But he's fine walking around, but could have gone badly.
And as we heard from the coach in the pregame show, Beck Fullerton not 100% healthy right now. Sat out last week, wanted to be back so badly this week, and here he is in the starting lineup. Here's a handoff now to the far side. That's Joe Carter working his way up to the 35-yard line. Going to be a gain, but not enough for a first down, so about 3rd down and 6 coming up here. Ball going to be spotted close to the 35. Punt team heading out onto the field for the Rams.
Oh, and Simoni is coming out to return the kick. It's always an exciting guy to get his hands on the ball.
Rashawn Simoniz joined the Sun partway through last season, joined them partway through this season here again. Did some kick returns last year and is back in that role. Nice end-over-end punt will send Simoniz back to his own 35. Flag is down right away on the return. He cuts out wide to the far side, hits the 40 now. Across the 45 will get dragged down. Multiple flags thrown here.
Yeah, I'm not sure what exactly happened right at the snap, but it seemed like everybody's flag flew right at the start of that play. It wasn't no yards penalty.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, it looked...
Oh, is this... On the Suns' opening punch, they almost had too many men as well. They had, I think it was Richardson running off the field late. Or Rodriguez, sorry, running off the field late. And now here they are getting an actual penalty for too many men on the field on that play. So the defense has to come back out.
Yeah, that's a huge turn of events there. 10 yards, enough to give the Rams a first down. And so Colby Peters jogs back onto the field with the ball set at his own 45-yard line. Approaching 9 minutes left to play in the opening quarter. Still scoreless with Peters out of the gun. There's a handoff up the middle. Bursting a tackle as Carter gets across midfield. And Joe Carter will be sent down to the ground close to the Okanagan 50. Gain of nearly 15 for Carter and a first down for the Rams.
Yeah, that was a big run for Carter there. He really should have been taken down in the backfield by 2 Sun tacklers and just planted his feet, stood his ground while they fell to the turf and had 15 yards of open space in front of him.
Seen a couple nice runs from Carter here early. Leading rusher here on this Rams team. Another handoff to Carter. He'll head up the middle, rather. This one up to about the 46. Looks like a gain of about 4 yards, 5 yards there, where it's spotted near that 46. So 2nd and 5 coming up here for the Rams.
Sun really need their D-line to start stepping up and making these second downs something longer than 2nd and 5. Because anything 5 and less, that's a successful play for the offense.
Of course, we mentioned injured Sun on the D-line, Connor Novak, Cole Kluhart, both out of the lineup here early on. And the Rams making a push here out of the shotgun. Peters to pass over to the sideline. That one's going to be picked off. It's Aldrich Berrios down at midfield.
Oh, Rams are real lucky that receiver was able to pull in that tackle on Berrios, because I thought Berrios had to jump on him for the house.
No kidding. Aldrich Berrios, who already this season we've seen his ability to pick a ball and run with it. He already has a pick 6 this year for Berrios. His 6th pick of the year, and a huge change of possession there.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that play call with these Sun DBs who are so quick and very good defensive backs. That's like a 25-yard throw for a hook. That's a lot of time for them to make the break on that pass.
So first down here for the Sun. Hand up once more to Rodriguez. He rumbles past tackles up across the 45-yard line. Robbie Rodriguez has looked comfortable and quite good here early on in this football game.
Very much so, which is good to see, especially after seeing Wendman have that little slip and fall. I wasn't sure how good the footing for these backs was going to be. But so far, he's looked fluid out there.
For Rodriguez, coming into this game, 42 rushing attempts, 226 yards in the season. Doesn't have a rushing touchdown, but he caught a touchdown pass earlier in the season. Back to pass here on first down, sliding catch up near the 30. That's Nate Anderson, his first reception on the afternoon. Ball going to be spotted just before then. Looks like right about the 32-yard line now.
That was a great catch there by Anderson, and Wenman's been a little bit off today. He's thrown probably a yard and a half behind where he wants to on his receivers, and if he can keep Anderson on his feet there, he can maybe make a play out of it.
Wenman back starting here for the first time since week 6. The shotgun, he's going to pitch this over to the far side to Rodriguez. He's got some space, rumbles out across the 15-yard line, and gets brought down close to out of bounds. But a first down and then some from Robbie Rodriguez. Bit of an option play there for Wenman, who faked like he was going to run with the ball and then pitched it to his tailback waiting for it.
Yeah, those options plays are always a little bit dangerous, especially for the quarterback, who the defensive end is really told, take that shot. If you're given a shot on a quarterback, take it. And Wenman took quite a shot there, but gained 15 yards out of the play for Rodriguez.
Yeah, linebacker Cameron Cross coming in with a big hit there for the Rams to knock Wenman down. Here he is, faking a handoff, and he'll keep it this time. Nobody knows where the ball is. Nick Wenman to the corner, slides in for the touchdown.
Wow. And there's a Sun player down, but that was an amazing fake. Just really sold it really well, put the football right into the running back's stomach, and that's exactly what you want to see.
Talking about those option plays like you were just a moment ago, being somewhat risky for the quarterback, they are, and that time, like you say, absolutely everyone bought the handoff, and Wenman with the cool keep just waltzed into the end corner and picked up the first major of the day here for the Sun. Okanagan Sun player on the field means we'll take a quick break here. You're listening to Okanagan Sun football right here on AM 1150.
Hey, it's Allie from Savoy Equipment. Fleet Week is on now. Hurry into Savoy Equipment to get 20% off all Shindawa units. Everything Shindawa. We're talking hedge trimmers, blowers, brush cutters, and more. All units are 20% off. A deal like this doesn't come around often, so take advantage of the savings because Fleet Week ends at 4 p.m. on Saturday at Savoy Equipment, the Okanagan's #1 Shindawa retailer. Windsor Road, Kelowna, or SavoyEquipment.com. Ugh, look at this glass.
I know. Spots.
The problem is your water.
Hey, Culligan man.
A Culligan whole house water conditioning system gets rid of sediment and impurities, so everything is spotless. The only water that comes with the Culligan man.
Call your local Culligan man today and receive $300 off your next high-efficiency water softener order. It saves 46% on water, salt, and energy. For details, visit okculligan.com. Better water, pure and simple.
Okanagan Sun football on AM 1150.
Welcome back here to the Apple Bowl. Evan Cook, Carson Park, alongside you for this one as the Okanagan Sun take a 6-0 lead. Nick Wenman with a touchdown run, putting the Sun on the board here. An injured Okanagan player is still down on the field right now. I haven't been able to see exactly who that is over on the far side of the field, but keep an update there as we talked about the Sun banged up, not wanting to see more injuries, but that's the case here this afternoon. Going back to the touchdown,
just wanted to cover the how the defense is supposed to deal with those options, since we saw 2 of them in a row and one of them went to a touchdown. We got some applause for he's standing and walking off the field on his own. Still not getting a number. It might be Mosley?
Yeah, I think that's Kyler Mosley, number 22, who's walking off in the middle of a couple of players. Good to see him able to get up and walk off the field, as we weren't sure for a moment, but nonetheless.
Yeah, going back to that thought, on defense you have the contained man. It's normally the defensive end, not always, but the contained man and the got a kick is up.
Extra point here is good for Isaac Wagner and the Sun, who extended to 7-0.
Yeah, you have your contained man, and your contained man's job is the ball carrier outside. So as soon as you see outside, it's the running back and the quarterback are 1 and 2. One man's job, the defensive end contained man's job is the quarterback, and you should have a flowing linebacker, typically the outside backer, or the next man up's job is the running back. And either of those tackles can get missed, and both of them should be made as often as possible. You're often even told by your coaches, go tackle the running back. Even if the quarterback keeps it and he doesn't ever give the running back the ball, just tell the ref you thought he had the ball, because that's the way the option play is designed. Both of these players can have it, and you need to take them both out of the play.
And for the Sun, with Robbie Rodriguez looking so effective early in this game.
That's exactly right. That's what draws that second man's eyes away from the quarterback, and suddenly nobody's man is the quarterback, and he waltzes in for 15 yards untouched.
So the Sun lining up, trying to go for this onside kick by the looks of it. Wagner is positioned over to the far sideline.
Oh, now they're shifting to another strategy.
Going to call that play off and get the ball set up differently on the tee there. Run things back and boot it away. Now
we're getting a delay of game.
Yeah, that's what it looks like here.
Not sure the last time I saw that on a kickoff.
So it's a 5-yard penalty that will move Wagner back to kick off from the 40. Yeah, no kidding. Not a play that you often see.
The Sun really do like getting complicated on these kickoffs, though, and it's paid off great for them over the year, but very strange strategy.
Yeah, sure was. You know that the Rams would be preparing for that onside kick, which we've seen the Sun, like you say, bust out a few times, but
like
a little bit of trickery. That's what it's going to be. Angled towards the sideline, going up and making the catch. One of the Rams over the far side.
That's Kyle Claret, and the Sun are very, very lucky he did not stay on his feet when he came down with that football, because
absolutely
there was nobody between him and the end zone. And that is one thing I'm actually pretty surprised we haven't seen. The Sun really haven't been burnt on many of their risks that they've taken this year, and they've been a very pro-risk team.
Yeah, no kidding. Going to set things up for the Rams here. 1st and 10, great field position for them past midfield at the 47-yard line of the Sun. Peters out of the shotgun here with a couple of backs. And he'll hand that one off to Carter, who gets wrapped up right near the line of scrimmage. It might even be a loss of a couple here.
That's a loss of several. Eli Haynes hanging out in the backfield. He had a huge game last week, too. As much as I said Richard is at the heart of this defense, Haynes playing in that middle linebacker position has been one of the most active players on this defense, if not the league. He's not quite the same sort of athlete and key plug-and-play kind of player that Richard is, but he does his job real well. He fits in the scheme real well, and he does everything properly. Makes lots of plays.
Going to be 2nd down and 12 here. Ball on the Sun 49. Peters to pass here out of the shotgun. He's looking deep. That one thrown towards the sideline. Ball tipped by Kitzman, and it'll fall incomplete. Richard in on that one as well. We'll bring up a 3rd down and long, and the Rams forced to punt this one away. Bit of a missed opportunity for Langley after starting out in great field position there.
Yeah, definitely, but this is going to be a big field position game, so as long as they can get a good kickoff here and pin the Sun deep, it's going to be a win for them, especially with a strong defense. If they can come out and play well and this defense get a quick 3 and out, then they're going to be probably in better field position than they are right now.
Rashawn Simonize, the Sun returner, back to field this ball. This one going to be set up and kicked away by Palmer. Going to bounce right at about the 12-yard line, roll out of bounds at the 10.
That was a great kick.
Yeah, nice punt there. Wayne Palmer on the punts for the Rams, and he had a nice one on that particular play.
Yeah, especially he got the beneficial bounce, too. Just land and roll straight out of bounds. Never had a real shot at even having to return.
So 4:07 left to play here in the opening quarter. Sun with a 7-0 lead. Nick Wenman, starting quarterback for the Sun, with the rushing touchdown earlier here in the first quarter. Wenman going to be out of the shotgun here at his own 10-yard line. One running back with him, gets the handoff. Rumbling up. Was
Still
getting close to the 15-yard line, but was pushed back by the gang tackle there, the Rams. Looked like that was Rodriguez on the carry there again, but he gets neutralized on the ground on that instance.
Man, he carried that tackler for a good 10, 15 yards sideways anyway. Fortunately, didn't get too much in positive yardage. Sun being in out of gun so near their 10-yard line always makes me a little bit nervous as a defensive player. Bad snaps aren't common, but they do happen. And
they'll stay out of the shotgun here. 2nd and 9 from the 11. Edmund looked like he wanted to wear it out. Now he's going to roll out to his right towards the sideline. Will run it out of bounds. Wedman looked like he was going to cock and throw it deep, but no man open downfield, and the quarterback's forced to just run it out of bounds there.
Late flag on the play. It looked like they were throwing a flag on something Jordan Lund, number 7, may have said. Because I didn't see him in any physical altercation, but as they were walking away from one another, a flag came out. Oh.
So it's Lund, yeah, like you say, throwing his arms up there, not understanding.
Well, it wasn't something he said. It was apparently something he did, but I totally missed what it was.
Okay, unnecessary roughness is the call there. A huge break for the Sun, going to push them all the way up to the 26-yard line. Give them a fresh set of downs to work with as well.
Yeah, that was definitely not what the Rams were hoping for on that defensive series.
Fake handoff there. Going to be passed to Simonize. Catches it just before the 30. Breaks a tackle. Gets pushed out of bounds right at about the 32, 33-yard line. Rashawn Simonize, his first catch of the ball game. Going to make it about 2nd and 4 for the Sun here.
Yeah, it was a good catch. Good little shift to break that tackle. But I'd really love to see Simonize break out for a game like Anderson did last game. He's such a big, strong receiver and such a good athlete that there's no reason he shouldn't be able to eclipse 100 yards regularly, and he just hasn't done it with the kind of regularity we'd expect.
So here's the Sun, 2nd down, another pitch to Rodriguez, and he's got room once again up to the 50-yard line, and that's where he'll get angled out of bounds.
They're really liking that quick pitch play. There must be something about Langley's defense where they think they're able to get Wenman and their running backs out to outnumber whoever it is uncontained, whether it be the end or an outside backer.
Yeah, you're right. A play that, aside from this week, we really haven't seen run too many times over the course of this season for the Sun.
Yeah, it's been a part of their offense, but not such a apparently key part.
Another run, nice run for Rodriguez. 1st and 10 on the 49. He'll get the handoff once again, bust through one tackle, and get brought down across midfield. That was Jace Harden, the linebacker, who got stiff-armed there by Rodriguez on the run.
Yeah, love seeing guys throw the stiff arm. One thing we have to mention, though, as this game starts to carry on is how big these holes are. The Sun O-line is doing a great job so far in this game. Rodriguez is not getting touched until he's into the backers, the defensive back section of the field.
Yeah, the Sun offensive line, where we've seen some injury issues earlier in the season, out of the eye here on a 2nd and short. Passes, or handoff rather, to Rodriguez, and he'll get brought down short of the line of scrimmage. Going to be about a 3rd down and 4 here for the Sun.
Yeah, just immediately taken down on that play. I'm not sure who missed the block, but somebody on the Rams clearly timed that snap count.
So the ball going to be spotted right at midfield here. We're a minute 20 away from the end of first quarter action. We saw Matt Panatoni for the punt earlier. It's going to be Wegner here on this one. Gets this one off. Sends the Rams back to their own 15-yard line. Now here's Lund cutting out across the 35, and that's where he'll get angled out of bounds. Looks like a late hit flag coming in from the official on the sideline.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that flag either. Block, I think, happened during the course of the play, and just the last shove as the whistle started to go got the Sun players' momentum carrying into after the play, and they're going to count the momentum into the bench, I think.
Yeah, you're right. Would be a penalty coming up here against the Rams. Here comes. That's linebacker Cameron Cross with the illegal block, and that'll send this Sun all the way down to the 26-yard line of the Rams.
Fortunately, still 1st and 10 for the Rams here, but costly penalty.
Yeah, it sure was, moving them back in field position there. Under a minute left to play here in the opening quarter. Sun with a 7-0 lead. Peters under center. There's another handoff over to the outside. That's Agnoletto up across the 25-yard line up near the 30. We've seen that
that quick jet sweep the Rams are sort of to do here.
The handoff in motion there to Agnoletto had a big gain early in the game, and this time looks to gain about 3 yards, ball up to the 29.
Yeah, the goal there is really just to try to spread out the defense, stretch them out sideline to sideline so that the middle of the field gets opened up a little bit more for those natural running lines.
Agnoletto, the first-year receiver out of Coquitlam, has 13 catches as well with a touchdown for the Rams so far this year. Probably the final play here of the opening quarter of the shotgun here is Peters angling a pass to the sideline. Going up to try and bring that one in was Ryan McDonald, but he was getting hit as the ball was coming into his hands, and he was separated from said ball. And so that'll bring about an end to first quarter action here at the Apple Bowl. Take a quick break, come back on the other side. You're listening to Okanagan Sun football right here on AM 1150.
Rona is a proud sponsor of your Okanagan Sun and a strong community supporter. They're ready to help you tackle every project you've got. Think Rona for every job, from renovating the house to upgrading the bathroom. Whether it's a huge undertaking or just a small fix-up, they have the products, the prices, and the expertise you need to get the job done right. Visit Rona.ca and tackle every project with Rona. Doing it right. 1711 Springfield Road. Proud sponsor of your Okanagan Sun.
Win or lose, touchdown or turnover, JDS Energy and Mining is proud to support local sports in Kelowna. They believe it's important to put youth at play where they can learn to be leaders. They believe in the habits and values learned from working in a team. They believe the skills today youth learn in organized sports will strengthen our community. JDS Energy and Mining, a proud community partner of local sports in Kelowna and your Okanagan Sun.
Under the helmet and between the 50s. This is your all-access pass to Okanagan Sun football on AM 1150.
Welcome back here to the Apple Bowl. Evan Cook, Carson Park alongside you for this one that sees the Okanagan Sun leading the Langley Rams 7-0 after the opening quarter. We just had the Rams punted on third down to open up the second quarter, and a penalty. Going to be a hold on the Sun. The punt return, by the way, came right up close to the Okanagan 51-yard line, so the 10-yard hold knocks it back down to the 41-yard line, and that's where the Sun are getting set to start here. Nick Wenman under center. Out of the shotgun here, one back is Rodriguez. He's out to block. Here's a pass angling towards the sideline for Simonize, and it just goes past his outstretched hands. Rashawn Simonize, who's got such a big wingspan out there, almost caught up to that pass.
He definitely did. That was a huge play there by Dennis Oliveira, the DB, just keeping his hands on Simonize long enough to slow him down just enough to keep that ball out of reach. Got to get that release sooner when you're the receiver on that play, and so close to a huge play for the Sun.
So when it's all said and done, going to be 2nd and 10 Okanagan here. Empty backfield here for Wenman, who rolls out to his right, tries to dodge a hit. Now he throws it away as a flag gets thrown at the end of that play. Jacob Dodd had tracked down Wenman and sort of swung him down to the ground. It looked like it was the play on the quarterback that was getting flagged there. It was the official right behind Dodd through the flag. And the penalty on Dodd here, it looks like a tough flag for me.
Yeah, he throws the quarterback down pretty hard there, and possibly a horse collar. It's hard to really tell where he's grabbing the quarterback from there, but
yeah, it looked like he got mostly jersey.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd like to see just a cleaner tackle on that play, because I don't really see a reason for him to need to do that sort of a tackle.
Right.
And by not wrapping and securing the tackle, he leaves the arms free to try to get rid of that ball for the incomplete instead of securing the sack.
So ball on the Langley 54 after that 15-yard penalty. Going to be a handoff here to the outside, and unable to get back to the line of scrimmage there. That was Rodriguez.
Strange day today in the Okanagan backfield.
Yeah.
So far this season, I'd have to go back and check the stat sheets, but I'm not sure there's been a single game where one running back has had as many carries as the team has had runners.
Yes.
And Rodriguez, I'm not sure we've said another name coming out of the backfield yet today.
We have not, and you're right. Brendan Hansen, we're used to seeing from Kelton Curry. That's going to be Wedman to pass here on second down. That one was a little short to Simonize, who couldn't pluck it out of the ground. And so third down and 13 for the Sun, who are going to punt this one away. I should mention, too, of course, that Abdi Nazir Abdi, who was on the team as running back last year, back in the fold for the Sun now. He got a couple carries in the game last week against the Broncos, so he's also there on the sideline. But
yeah, I was going to say I saw him come in for a couple pass reps where he just in to block, but only Rodriguez on carries so far.
Looks like a false start here at the line as it's blown dead. Matt Panatoni back to punt this one away. So that's Joseph Okunlola here on the punt team, who gets called for that procedure, and will move this back 5 yards more into Okanagan territory.
I suspect that's a running back not being used to being unallowed to get that early lean going.
So Panatoni rolls out to his right, boots this one away towards the sideline, bounces right at the 40-yard line, just sticks there on the field. Going to be hardly a return possible there for the Rams, who are able to just jog it up and run it out of bounds right close to that 45-yard line.
Yeah, that's one thing you do risk with that kind of rolling out soccer goalie punch kind of kick. Is Panatoni didn't get quite as much on that as he has on a lot of his other kicks. It's just not quite as consistent a movement when you're getting that jog going. And kicking it so far to the sidelines, you sacrifice a lot of downfield yardage, and Sun only really flipped the field 25 yards on that kick, which is all right, but it's not as much as you'd like to see.
So here we go, 1st and 10 here. Going to be a handoff, this one up the middle. Nathan Lund, his first carry of the game for the Rams. Going to get up to about the 50. Looks like a gain of 6 on that rush, and it'll be 2nd down and 4. As mentioned, Joe Carter, who got the majority of the carries in that first quarter for the Rams. Nathan Lund, his first, the 5th-year veteran back here for the Rams.
Yeah, the Rams with 2 running backs in the gun.
Another 2-back set here, fullback out to block. The handoff is up the middle once again. That one, I believe, to Lund a second time. He's going to get right pretty close to that first down marker, maybe a yard short based on where the official has his foot right now.
Oh. Almost looks like we might get a measurement out of this one, which surprises me. No, never mind.
It'll be 3rd down and short nonetheless. It looks like a little bit of confusion personnel-wise with players from both teams coming in, and we are going to get a measurement here. From the naked eye, it looked a little short, and I think that's what we're going to get. 3rd down and inches here.
Close enough that I'd go for it if I was Langley, but it looks like they have their punt team out, so.
Yeah, you're right. Would be a little bit surprised not to see them go for it here, but that's what we're seeing right now. Wayne Palmer back to punt. And a timeout here going to be called on the Sun sideline. So we'll take a quick break, come back here, 11:59 left to go in the first half with the Sun on top 7-0. You're listening to Okanagan Sun football right here on AM 1150.
AM 1150. It's Kelowna's home for BC Lions football. Don't miss a second of the action as Wally Buono's Leos take on the best of the CFL with Grey Cup on their minds. BC Lions football on AM 1150. You're listening to Kelowna's information station, CKFR, a division of Bell Media. We are AM 1150. News, talk, and sports. You're listening to Okanagan Sun football on AM 1150.
Welcome back here to Kelowna, where the Okanagan Sun enjoying a 7-0 lead here on a third down play. It looks like the Rams are going to go for it. And a quick snap there, too. It's an interesting play as a flag is out.
Official number 41 just saw the exact same thing I did, and it was the quarterback trying to fight for that first down and a hand grabbing him right on the horse collar. Or that's not what the penalty is.
So it's going to be a procedure on the offense. That will force Langley to punt, and that's what I thought initially, too. As the referee was blowing in the offense, there wasn't a set line there. They just sort of went for it, and that's what the call on the field is. So that'll make it pretty close to a 3rd down and 6 here. An injured Ram down on the field, too. Lots going on in that play, but yeah, you saw the horse collar there. That
yeah, I saw some Sun hand come and get a full handful out of these the Rams jerseys. All have Rams written on the back, and he grabbed at least the R to the M.
And so you're right, a break for the Sun there. It's going to force the Rams to 3rd and long. I would imagine that they will punt this one away. In the meantime, there is a Ram down on the field, so we'll take another quick break, come back to Kelowna. 7-0, the lead for the Okanagan Sun here on AM 1150.
Looking for a new beer? Been around the city trying to find a breathtaking blonde that is easy on the eyes, cool, and refreshing? Look no further. We got a cool local in your neighborhood. Introducing the newly repackaged Caribou Blonde. If this beauty sounds like music to your ears, it certainly could be. Caribou Blonde now comes with earbuds at participating retailers. Caribou Blonde. Sounds good. Must be legal drinking age. No purchase necessary.
From our team to yours, this is Okanagan Sun football on AM 1150.
Welcome back here to Kelowna as we're getting set for a 3rd down punt here from the Rams. Injured Ram on the field was big offensive lineman Cody Cruz. He's able to stand up and walk off the field under his own power. So we'll wait to see his return potentially into this football game. Now the punt here from Palmer gets that away. A nice kick there down to the Okanagan 30, and it's going to get past the returner, forcing him all the way back to about the 15-yard line. No yards flag rolls in as the return is brought up close to the 30.
Is that Kelton Curry out there returning?
Looks like Curry it was, yeah. Penalty going to be a no yards flag as mentioned there. But the ball, it was a play where Curry lets the ball bounce in front of him. It takes a hop wide right past him, and he had to go back a few yards to pick that one up.
Yeah, it was one of those plays. You really want to catch those in the air if you're the returner because you never know the bounce you're going to get. And if the Rams kicker had decided to get on his horse and hustle down the field there, they might have been able to get a recovery out of that. Didn't know such luck on the Rams' part. Sun are getting a holding penalty here, though, too.
Yeah, the ball just keeps moving further and further back into Sun territory.
So that negates the return and gives the Sun a 5-yard penalty.
So that's what it was, illegal block penalty on the Sun, forcing them back to their own 14-yard line.
I think the illegal block was on the guy inside 5 yards, too, which makes it a little bit aggravating if you're a Sun player.
So it's going to be Sun out of the shotgun here. Wenman fakes the handoff, airs it out towards the sideline. Going there for, it was not Simon Eyes, I don't think, lined up on the far side. That was Nate Anderson. Wenman trying to find him in that man coverage and just throws it a little far past number 83.
That was another great fake there by Wenman. I bought that for a second, too. I thought it was the draw play. A little delay run.
Yeah, no kidding. That play that we've seen work a few times here so far today, always in the back of the Rams' mind and potentially opening things up for a passing play. Didn't work to Anderson there. Second down, screen pass is too far in front.
Oh, that's super frustrating as a Sun player. Wenman's had a pretty good year all year, but his accuracy today seems to have been just a touch off.
Yeah.
A lot of missed opportunities, and in the CFL game, you only have those 2 downs to really make it those 10 yards, and if you miss on one of them, that's a quick way to punt a lot.
That was Abdi, who was lined up as the back in that set, and
now running back out to do his special teams duties.
Yeah. On the punt team here, of course, he just coming into the Sun fold about 2 weeks ago, so still getting familiar with all of his responsibilities. As the Sun going to punt this one away on third down, angling things back to the 50-yard line. London, the return here, going to work his way up to the 40. Just before that, looks like he got brought down there. So that London, the return, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Rams here in Okanagan, half of the field.
Yeah, the Rams are in great field position here to try to even this game up. Sun defense has to come up with a big play here sooner or later. Well, I guess another big play. They did have that interception earlier.
Yeah, big interception from Aldrich Berryhouse, who almost was very close to not being in the Sun lineup for this game.
It's also very close to going into the house on that interception.
Yeah, no kidding. Almost a pick six there. Peters, open backfield, airs this one out. That one is going to be caught at the 10-yard line, jogging it in for the touchdown. Kalik Johnson, wondered when we were going to call his name. The leading receiver for the Rams pick up his first catch and first touchdown pass of the day. And it's looking like a tie game here from the Rams. Big pass there for Johnson.
Yeah, that was up against Berrios, who we were just mentioning, and I believe his interception was on that same matchup. Disappointing there. The quarterback let the ball hang, and I thought Berrios was going to be able to make a play on it. But instead of getting his eyes to his receiver and keeping his arms pumping, he kind of kept his eyes on up in the sky. And when you do that, you don't run with the same kind of urgency. You don't keep your arms pumping, and didn't quite close those last couple yards he needed to get that swat in. Wound up with a touchdown.
Yeah, for Johnson, 40 catches this year. That touchdown, his 6th on the season.
He was wide open there for a second. He could have easily caught it and wandered in without being touched. And
Berrios flag
real
here
close
on the extra point kick.
More time counts in this game on kicks than I've maybe ever seen in my entire life. We get one more, it might be like combined.
Well, well, it looked like there might have been confusion personnel-wise because Joe Carter was yelling at the sideline, trying to ask what was going on as the kick is up, and it is good. That was Wayne Palmer, the big lefty who came in for that kick and converts it here to tie this game up at 7. Take another quick break. Come back to Kelowna. You're listening to Sun Football on AM 1150.
When you have Big Steel Box, moving and storage are almost too easy. From kickoff to the final play, they're on your team. They'll drop the Big Steel Box off at your place, then you pack it at your pace, and when you're ready, give Big Steel Box a call to come pick up the box and move it or store it. Simple and secure. Big Steel Box is a better way to move and store your stuff. Check them out at BigSteelBox.com. Proud supporter of the Okanagan Sun.
Back here at the Apple Bowl, Okanagan Sun, Langley Rams. After a touchdown for the Sun to take the 7-0 lead in the first quarter, here with 10:38 left to go in the second, it's a throw and catch to Kalik Johnson, who is able to take it in for the score here and tie this game up at 7. Palmer, the boot, bit of a line drive, takes a bounce at the Sun 20-yard line. Going to get picked up here and spinning away from one tackle is Richard on the return. Gets out past the 30, still on his feet. Flag is thrown on the sideline. And even some
pushing and shoving going on. And Ram player still down. Is that injured or just at the bottom of the pile? Days up.
Looks like he got up slowly after...
Another flag flies.
Whoa. That was Nathan Murray, who was down for a second there for Langley, but who's back up and at him here. But a bit of...
a weirdly casual return. Once Richard finally picked it up and started running. Not much urgency really by anyone on the field on either team. And then as soon as the play ended, a lot of urgency by both teams to get into a bit of a shoving match.
Whoa. So an illegal block on the Sun, as well as an objectionable conduct penalty. That one thrown on Richard. For the Sun, the block in the back was Ryan Marquardt. And so that'll take things all the way inside the 15-yard line. 1st and 10 Sun from their own 13. Richard, you know he's a guy who's going to play with lots of emotion, but undisciplined there. Forcing the Sun back. They're going to pass here. 1st down. That one is short. Another Simonize, and we were talking just earlier about how Wenman just hasn't looked totally crisp with those passes, and there's one where Simonize is wide open, and he just throws it a little short of his receiver.
Yeah, it's a lot of his passes today have just been, touch short and low, and a touch behind his receivers. I'm not sure what it is, if there's anything bothering him in his mechanics or anything, or if it's just an off day, but yeah, he's been missing with frequency today.
So going to bring up 2nd and 10 here. Rolling out to his right is Wenman to pass. That one, a diving catch near the 1st down mark.
That was a great throw and catch.
It sure was. Didn't see who laid out for it over on the far side there.
Looked like Anderson to me, but I did not catch a number.
Well, nonetheless here, I think that actually might have been Javen Cakeley on the reception. As we just get another look at it here. Well, even tough to see there, but I think it was. And it was so close, like I say, to that 1st down marker that it is going to bring up a measurement here.
Sun better be careful on which personnel they decide to have on the field here, because they got to have 20 guys wandering around.
Yeah, no kidding.
Although it's the punt team coming back off. Okay, good.
Yeah, exactly, as they even thought that it might be short there, but just by about a half a football length, we saw the Sun gain a 1st down on that play. So nice, crisp 10-yard catch by Cakeley there. Going to bring up 2nd and 10. Ball up to the 23-yard line. Under 10 minutes to play here. Big jump off the D-line, and brought down in the backfield is Rodriguez.
Wenman needs to start playing with his snap count, because me up from the booth could see that linebacker knew when that ball was going to be snapped, and he was in the backfield before the offensive line was even out of their stance.
Yeah, no kidding. A great jump on that play, and Rodriguez with really nowhere to go.
I think that was Jace Harden, but I'm not 100% on that.
Fortunately, because Rodriguez was lined up beside the quarterback and not behind him, so they actually got up to the original line of scrimmage. Wenman under pressure here. He's just got to throw it away. And another situation there where the defense getting a good jump. That was Isaiah Stewart, the linebacker, who was tracking down Wenman in a hurry.
Yeah, he just has to do a hard count or something. Change it up a little bit here on this next drive, or these defensive linemen and any blitzing linebackers are going to be living in the backfield for the rest of the day. At the moment, they have this, whatever the pattern is for the snaps, really dialed in.
And so for the Sun here, they're sending Wagner back to punt. We've seen him in situations where the ball is deep in Okanagan territory. That one, he's going to send it out to the 50. Lund on the return here up to midfield. Dodges one tackle, but gets brought down by the incoming Eli Haynes.
And Eli Haynes is a missile out there as a tackler. It's just full sprint right into you. The breakdown happens at full speed.
And, I mean, you know as well as anybody how tough that is to make a play when you're running at full speed like that and make a successful tackle like that.
It's honestly a straight-up different mentality. Kids are taught forever, you have to break down to make a tackle, you have to break down to make a tackle. But the mentality you have to have is that you are a magnet to the ball. You have to accelerate those last couple yards.
1st and 10 here for Colby Peters. Out of the shotgun here. Going to pass this one over to the sideline. That one caught up near the 45. And making the initial catch, then getting out of bounds. Looked like just right outside of that 45-yard was Johnson for his 2nd catch of the game. And so ball's going to be marked here at the 46. That's good enough for a Langley first down.
Yeah, football is it's a running game first, and whoever takes the most steps really wins. And if you're breaking down and you're stopping your feet, you're going to lose every time. You need every step that you take to take you a little bit closer to the football, and Eli's got that. He just knows how to do it. It's instinct.
Pardon me, ball on the 44, not the 46, and it's going to be a passing play here and a catch, sliding grab there, up near the 45-yard line. It was a nice grab from Michael Beck. He's the fullback who will catch a pass or two for the Rams, but just looks like he just got back to the line of scrimmage as Peters was under pressure pretty early there from the Sun.
Yeah, there was a design pull block there by their O-lineman coming across, trying to get the either blitzing backer or end. I'm not sure who that was coming off the edge there, and just couldn't quite make it there to seal the quarterback. I'd like to see the quarterback step up a little bit and help his blocker out, but big hit on him.
Peters on second down with one back behind him. Back in motion now. Peters under pressure. A big hit thrown there. And it falls incomplete on the pass, but boy, that was...
that would be another good move for the Sun to try, is the screen that the Rams are just trying to pull out. Put a little too much heat on that. You want to just kind of float the ball out there for your running back to run underneath and be able to catch. If you put any sort of muscle on it, then it'll just miss him and find the ground.
Big Mitch Lyons here throwing that hit on Peters, who was taking a couple big hits on this possession here in the last couple of plays, but third down and 10 means Rams are going to punt this one away. Palmer steps into it and just got it off. Going to be caught up and bobbled for a second near the Okanagan 15-yard line, out across the 20 on the return. Looked like that was Curry again there on the punt return. Got about 5 yards, as much as he really could on that one.
Yeah, not bad, especially after he bobbled it.
Yeah.
You just get upfield, get the yards you can, and don't keep possession is the important thing. And this game could easily come down to whoever makes the next big play, so possession, holding onto the football is going to be huge for the rest of this game.
Yeah, no kidding. This one is certainly becoming a defensive battle here. With Wenman out of the shotgun, one back behind him, gets the handoff. That, I believe it was Okunlola with the carry on that one. Or no, that was Abdi with his first rushing attempt of the game. He gets up to about the 20-yard line, close to the line of scrimmage there.
Yeah, no such huge hole for him to run through on that play. And again, I wonder how much that has to do with snap counts and the defense just getting comfortable, if there's some sort of consistent pattern going on, or just staying on one the whole game.
Looks like an offside call went against the Sun there. And so they'll replay first down here, but it will move the sticks back to the 16-yard line. First and 15 now for the Sun.
I'd love to either see a draw or a screen from the Sun here. Try to get those hard blitzers coming up, slowing down a bit.
Wenman now, bit of a delayed handoff, but it is there to Abdi, and he cuts out for a big gain across the 30. That's where he's tripped up.
How was that draw I just mentioned?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Great play call. Great play call.
Mike Waldhausen down on the Sun sideline, offensive coordinator, with the call there. So the spot officially here at the 32-yard line for the Sun. Big gain there, a 16-yard run by Nazir, and there's a play action here again. Looked like it was, might have short hop, but the pass is complete right now. Cutting out across the field is Anderson. He's up to the opposition 50, now the 40, and he's brought down right near the 35.
That was a great run by Anderson. Just using his players like pylons to kind of screen the defenders all the way down the field. I saw a couple of guys looking for big blocks to make, and nobody could really find any blocks to make, but they still made them anyway just by occupying space. That's how you have to, good runners can do that. They make their blockers block without touching anyone.
Like I say, I thought that it was short hop for a second when that throw made to Anderson, but he picked it up right as his shoelaces from his own 32 down to the opposition 37. Play action here, Wenman threw it in the dirt. That one in the feet of Nate Anderson.
I also thought that was one bouncer to Anderson on the far side, and he just put his hands down. It almost looked like he had reached further than you were expecting him capable of reaching and scooped that off the ground.
But we've talked about it on broadcast before. For a player, if it's close like that, you just got to sell it, and you just got to run with it. And there was no hesitation in Anderson, who just picked up the ball and took it downfield.
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever it's close, you have to tell the ref that you made it.
Wentman out of the gun here, looking back to pass, try to pass off his fingertips over top the D-line, and it was swatted down.
Nick Westad on D-line there, big defensive tackle. That was that screen I was just hoping the Sun would run to try to slow this D-line down, and looked like one of them barely hit the brakes quick enough to get some air under his feet and get a hand on that ball.
So we're going to send Isaac Wagner out here. He will punt it away. With the ball in the 38, was wondering if we might see a kick, but...
that's disappointing. I love watching long field goals, but I guess too big play averse today.
He'll line up on the Rams 52. Flag comes out, and it's going to be blocked there by the Rams as it sputters out right at the 50-yard line.
Think they're going to call the Rams on jumping early, or...
Well, that's what we want.
Or are they saying too many men on the side?
Yeah, penalty was just signaled against the Sun. Joe Carter with the vicious block.
Too many men. That's the second or third time the Sun have had that problem today. Special teams really has to get their personnel sorted out.
And it was an interesting play. I mean, you'd have to go and look at it again, but it's Nazir who I saw, the last guy running on the field. Looked like he wasn't quite sure whether he was supposed to be out there or not. And so a bit of a miscommunication there. Yeah, first down and 10 from the 50 here for the Rams. Going to be a handoff to Carter. Can't burst past the line, who's going to swallow him up and take him back inside the 50. Forward progress likely near that line of scrimmage.
Oh, and we have an injured Ram on the field.
Yeah, boy, right at the tail end of that play. Can't see who that is on his back out near the 50-yard line, but an injured Ram means we will take a quick break. So a break here on AM 1150. Come back, more Rams and Sun. You're listening to the BCFC.
Hungry people love Tonic's Pub and Grill because it's the place with incredible specials every day of the week.
Tuesday, go Greek for lunch with an incredible lunch special. Then on Thursday, they'll show you the beef with Tonic's best steak sandwich special.
And don't forget, Tonic's is the place with 2 happy hours every day, from 2 to 5 and 9 till 11. Tonic's Pub and Grill, downtown on Ellis.
Pete from Kelowna Performance Collision on reputation.
A past customer was selling his vehicle that was involved in a substantial collision. In his ad, he mentioned the damage and also who repaired it. He told me anyone local would appreciate the attention to detail, and it would matter to prospective buyers. Those conversations help the team at KPC feel immense pride in what they produce every day.
Kelowna Performance Collision on Enterprise across from Walmart.
You'll love the way your car looks. I guarantee it.
This is Okanagan Sun football. Hear it, live it on AM 1150.
Welcome back to the Apple Bowl. The Sun and the Langley Rams tied up at 7s. Here we just saw a second down and 10 play. The pass from Peters just thrown behind J.J. Jackson. And so it brings up third down and 10 here. And a punt coming up here from Wayne Palmer. Line up at his own 35, steps up to about the 40. Nice high loft on that kick. Takes a bounce to the Sun 25. Forces them back to the 15-yard line. That's Curry in the return again. Gets up near the 25. Close to a 10-yard return there from Kelton Curry. But once again, Sun going to force to start this drive deep in their own end of the field.
Yeah, that was a good little return by Curry, keeping his feet in bounds. Looked like he was going to try to reverse the field for a second, and I was hoping to see a big play out of him because we haven't seen a whole lot of him on offense today. The back by committee that we were really used to seeing out of the Sun team hasn't happened at all today. It's been all Rodriguez, and not that I mind. I like seeing Rodriguez play, but Just wonder how fresh everyone else is feeling right now.
Yeah, we saw Abdi Nazir take the last couple of plays, but it's Rodriguez back out there. Wenman to pass. Fakes one way, now looks the other, has some room to run. Slides out across the 30.
Sun
Flag.
had 2 penalties in this play, a hold and a block in the back that was just totally unnecessary.
He had the first flag came out behind Wenman. Looked like a hold, like you said, but with Wenman sliding in, I wondered if they were calling a late hit there, but the flag did come in after a Sun player laid a hit on a Ram who's down right now.
Whew. 25 yards and penalties in one play. That is not what you want to be seeing out of your team right now.
I'm not sure the Sun even had 25 yards to go if you send them back. I think they're going to be positioned right outside of their goal line now. And there is, like we say, a Ram down on the field. So take another quick break here. Come back to the Apple Bowl. It's the Sun and the Rams tied at 7 here on AM 1150.
Cara Vista, the newest neighborhood in the heart of Rose Valley.
While 3 Tommy Awards are nice, here's the best thing about Cara Vista. Possession dates are still available this year. Own a spacious townhome with many luxuries for as little as $495,000. See why only 6 units remain in Phase 5. Check out the show suite on Rosalie Lane. Open weekends from noon to 4.
Reserve your new home at caravistawithak.net. Welcome home.
You're listening to Okanagan Sun Football on AM 1150.
Welcome back here to the Apple Bowl. So the first penalty on the Sun declined. The second, the major foul, is taken for a 15-yard penalty. So that'll force the Sun right back to about their own 15. And was that another penalty on the Sun or a timeout here?
Timeout here on the Sun. Trying to decide what they're going to do about this second, and I do not think they moved the ball back far enough.
Yeah, the ball was on the 23, I thought. And that's why I said, when the call was made by the official initially, I said I don't think the Sun have 25 yards to move back. It was a 15-yard penalty out of the 23, and it's getting spotted at the 15-yard line right now.
I'm not sure how the math works in those penalties, then. Like,
yeah, no kidding. As yeah,
don't have a line to the refs, so can't ask them about it. So I guess we'll just let the ball sit where it is. But
doesn't look like the Rams are really putting up too much of a fuss. So they seem to have gotten an explanation here. Nonetheless, 1st and 10 for the Sun coming out of this timeout here. Nick Wenman out of the shotgun has Rodriguez beside him, and he's dropping back to pass. This one fired up the near sideline for Simon Eyes, and it goes just over his head, but he draws a flag on that one.
I suspect it might be against him.
Yeah, I was wondering that,
it looked to me like he instigated the contact, so.
Because there wasn't a whole lot of contact that was initiated by Jordan Lund, the corner on that play.
Refs just conferring for a moment. What's the call here?
Yeah, now he's pointing back. Now he's pointing back toward the Sun, so it looks like penalty against Okanagan here.
Yeah.
Oh, an offensive PI call against Simon Eyes there on a drive that really
was just penalties.
It was just penalties, completely dictated by those.
And that's the sort of thing that this Okanagan Sun offense, like, not that they've extremely struggled with penalties in particular, but just not being able to get anything going despite having lots of weapons and an O-line that can do their job. They just find ways to kind of shoot themselves in the foot.
And they're going to give up nice field position here, too, as back near his own goal line is Wagner. Flag off the snap, and Lund back near midfield to retrieve this punt. Gets up across the 50, brought down at the 48. That again, Jordan Lund on the return. Looks like he got about a 5-yard return out of that one. But flags, multiple flags
I think this is going to be another penalty on the Sun for being too early, although they're calling the Sun players over, so maybe against Langley.
Yeah, it looked like somebody moved early because, like we say, the flags came out right as the ball was being snapped. 2:49, by the way, left to go here in the opening half of football.
And we're coming out to punt it again, it looks like.
Wow, too many men on the Rams there. But because of penalties to the Sun, even that 10 yards didn't move them into a first down position.
Yeah, weird amount of penalties for too many men on the field
kidding.
today. Like, oh, these teams need to get a chalkboard on the sidelines or something to get this sorted out, because this is somebody's gonna make a big play on a special teams unit, and it is gonna get called back on too many men, and people are gonna get very upset.
Looked like the referee was gonna make another announcement here.
No. Giving us our 3 minutes to the half.
Yeah, there we go. But I mean, it's a good point, as the Sun, who have had a highly touted, a good special teams unit for lots of this season. We've seen, like you say, lots of penalties so far today. Who's it going to cost at what point in this game is a big question. So Jordan Lund, once again on the return, he gets angled out at about the Sun 54. There was a flag back on the Sun half of the field.
Wow, there's a lot of laundry on the field today.
No kidding. For the Sun coming into this game, averaging a little over 13 penalties per game, 118.4 yards a game in penalties. And it feels like holding penalty on the Rams here, and that will push the ball back into the Langley side of the field. Looks like the spot on Lund's return had him out just over midfield, and so we'll expect the ball to be spotted at about the Langley 45. But getting back to our point about penalties, 118.4 penalty yards a game for the Sun, and it feels like they'll be close to that in the first half of this game.
Yeah, at least 13 penalties. I'm not sure what the yardage totals are going to be in a draw here.
That handoff there to Nathan Lund, who's wrapped up rather quickly. Going to be a loss of a few for...
And we got flags on the play again.
Ben McCauley is waving this one off as if it's, going to be offside against the D there. He'll decline that penalty to take the loss. So Ryan McDonald there, as another weird one where the offense is lining up offside there.
Yeah, it's I'd love to just see a clean drive here. Just to have some normal football without hearing from the ref for a few minutes, but lots of penalties right now.
So second down and 15 here. Off that loss there, Peter's going to be back to pass here. He looks deep down the field. Wide open is McDonald, who fell and could not bring in the catch.
Wow. That is exactly the play you want to run against this Sun cover 3. Is you got one man running down the sidelines to pull that corner right out to the sidelines, and one man running up the seam where far enough over that the safety thinks it should be the corner's job, and the corner has to choose who he's going to cover, leaving one man wide open deep down the field. The Sun got burnt by that in Chilliwack a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
A few times, and just drops it. Just drops the open pass there.
Kitzman was the closest tackler to him, but he was still about 3-4 yards away, and for...
I think that was definitely just the case of one of those, you have too much time to think about it.
Yeah. So Palmer back to punt this one away. Going to send Simon Eyes back to his own 30. Fields it cleanly. Has to go wide around one tackler now, up through the middle of the field. Finds a hole. He's got lots of space up near the midfield. To the 50 now. Simon Eyes at the 40. Angled out at the 35-yard line. Rashawn Simon Eyes with a monster return for the Sun.
That's exactly the sort of play I've been waiting to see from him, where you actually see that vision at work and that long athletic stride just clear the field 30, 40 yards at a time. That's a big play that we've been waiting for.
Well, it was interesting to watch on that one, too, because Simon Eyes sort of caught it over his head and then turned back to face the play at about the 30. And the closest defenders were about 5 yards away, and you could sort of see them slowing down, going, here's a big guy, and we're not sure which way he's moving.
Yeah,
what is our first
that
move
was
need
sort
to
of
be?
what I was talking about earlier, where Eli Haynes with those bullet, just torpedo tackles, doesn't have that slow down hesitation.
1st and 10, another option pitch to Rodriguez. He's got space. A hurdle across the 20-yard line. Still on his feet, brought down inside the 15. Robbie Rodriguez. Whoa.
That was a pretty run. That was awesome. You're often told as a young player, never leave your feet because bad things happen. You wind up landing on your head pretty often when you leave your feet. But when you're going against smaller tacklers who want to not deal with your size and they're going to cut your legs or your knees out from under you, those hurdles are real useful. And Robbie's been running great today and real strong and trying to lower the shoulder on some of these corners. And he just decided to go over him this time.
A great play by Rodriguez there. Brings a great reaction from the fans. There was a Ram down on the field for a moment. That was Dylan Cusker on the D-line, but he's since gotten up quickly and is headed off to the sideline. So 1st and 10 here for the Sun. Ball on the 14-yard line. Just a minute 45 is what the Okanagan offense is working with. Lots of time here to stick one into the end zone.
The other impressive thing about that kick return is, do you notice Simon Eyes just caught it with his hands? All hands, no body?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice tight spiral on that kick to let him do that. But that's still an impressive catch with that much gravity pulling it down.
Wenman working out of the gun here in the one-back set. Another pitch to Rodriguez. That one is bobbled. He's able to pick it up, though, and outstretch himself towards the 5-yard line. Ooh, tense moments for the Sun offense there.
Yeah, that was those pitches. Anytime you have the ball leaving the quarterback's hand and in the air, you want to make those make it valuable time in the air, which is why you normally doing longer passes.
So that run negated with the 10-yard hold against the Sun.
So like a toss sweep is inherently more risky than a stretch, that sort of thing.
Right.
So these option plays that they're running a lot, especially where you're expecting your quarterback to get hit as he's letting go of the ball. It's a risky play to be calling with this much frequency, especially when you already have one injured quarterback.
Yeah, no kidding. That's a good point. Matthew Mahler dressed for today's game as the backup for the Sun. They're 1st and 20 from the 24-yard line. Wenman, a quick pass into the slot. That pass is complete. Out across the 5-yard line is Anderson. He'll get down to about the 4, and that would be a 1st down if he got all the way there, and the chains are being waved. 1st and goal. A 20-yard catch for Nate Anderson.
That was a great catch and a great read by Wenman. The Rams have been really loving this blitz by their outside backer off the edge, which opens up a little hole in the zone behind him. And Wenman finally found that hole instead of just getting hit from the guy reading the snap count.
Going to be Wenman out of shotgun here. Rodriguez lined up behind him as the tailback will get the handoff. Works to the outside and was just impeded enough that another tackler of the Rams came through to bring down Robbie Rodriguez. That was Cameron Cross, who initially got his arms on him to slow him down.
That was a great play by the Rams defense there, getting into the backfield and wrapping up the running back before he could get any momentum going, because you don't need a whole lot of momentum go at this point to push him in a yard enough to just need the ball to break the plane.
Out of the eye here is Wenman. Hands it off to the fullback. They're trying to push the line in across the goal line, and it looks like the Rams stuffed him there. The ball was set on the 2.
It almost looked to me like Wenman almost dropped that snap and barely got the handoff in before the fullback had passed him. Not sure if that had any impact on the sort of momentum he had going into the pile, but did not look as smooth as it could have been.
Yeah, no kidding there. I think it was...
Oh, look for Richard to get this ball, and look for him to go over the pile.
3rd down here, ball on the 1. Out of the eye once again here. Wenman bobbled it for a second, and it's not going to be enough to get in.
Fumbled the snap.
Wenman, who was on the ball and was going to keep it and just try to barrel his way through, looked like he started to move before he had complete control of that ball, and he bobbles the snap.
Yeah, at least that's what it looked like from here. I didn't catch the replay. We'll see here on... Oh, yeah, he just went... As soon as that ball was snapped, he was down on the ground picking it up again. Not sure who's... where the transfer mistake's happening there, but it looked to me like that was 2 in a row that did not go off clean. Hopefully the Sun defense can get a tackle for a loss here, though, and force a safety, because this is prime position for the Sun D.
No kidding. Just 35 seconds left here in the second quarter. 1st and 10 for the Rams from their own 1 after that turnover on downs. Tough play for the Sun there. Peters, the QB keep. Looks like he'll just dive up for a couple of yards.
I'm not sure about that play call either. I guess they did get a yard or 2 out of it. But they moved the center of the line closer to the goalposts. And that goalpost gets in the way quite a bit. It's almost an extra defender back there.
Right.
Because now it looks like they're slightly to their left of the posts, which means any sweep to the right or any rollout to the right that they want to do is going to be impeded. And we'll see how if that plays into this at all.
Yeah, it's a good point here, as it looked like the gain was only a yard on that one. Going to be 2nd and 9 here for the Rams. Trying to get better field position to avoid...
That's right. We only have 32 seconds left as well. So
yeah,
probably just trying to get rid of this half.
So what do you call here for the Rams? Are you sticking the ball on the ground still?
Depends how many timeouts the Sun have. If they do have another timeout, then I'm thinking maybe a play action or something more exotic, but more than likely you'll just see a typical dive here to try to burn this clock out.
We're coming off a Langley timeout here. And so here they are, quarterback right under center, cuts to his left this time, and again, maybe a gain of about 1 here.
Not even risking the handoff, just letting it be a quarterback sneak, try to force the pile. So I guess they're going to let the clock burn out.
They clock down to 28 here. Looks like they did at least get the ball up to the 5-yard line on forward progress there. So 3rd down and 6 to go here. And clock still ticking down. So a play where you might normally see teams give up the single here. They will be able to kick this one away.
I'm just wondering if they have enough time to run the clock right down to 0 and make this the last play of the half. In which, also going to be interesting if they even kick it out. Often teams will take the knee here for the field position battle, but there's no field position battle at the end of the half. So see if they give up the points or risk kicking it out and risk the return.
Now it looks like we are going to get a timeout.
Yeah, think about it for a minute.
Here, Palmer was lined up in the end zone for the Rams to punt this one away. Clock now down to just 6 seconds before the timeout stopped the clock. So really, if you're the Rams here with just 6 seconds left, you just want to get a clean punt away and let the clock take care of itself at this point.
Yeah, get a clean punt away, pin it to the sidelines, and hope that there's no big return for the Sun. A little surprised they're pulling Simon Eyes off the field here.
Yeah, they are. That's Keon Ashani, the returner who's lined up at about the 45-yard line.
He looks like he's doing some stretching, so that's never a good sign when you're suddenly thrust into a game you haven't been in a whole lot.
So nonetheless, here Palmer, who of course in his own end zone is lined up behind the goalpost. Going to punt this one away here. Palmer steps into that one, and he puts a little bit of a short one that lands at his own 30-yard line. Ashani up to pick it up. A flag is thrown, and he'll get brought down just inside the 35.
Find out if this flag is going to prevent the end of the half.
Well, yeah, if it's on the defense there, as the clock rolls down to 0, then the Sun would get one more play on offense, but
the Sun should really just go for the field goal here, I think.
Yeah, no kidding. Isaac Wegner is going to jog onto the field here.
That is a hugely costly error right there. That should have been the last play of the half, and instead the Sun are going to be able to have the chance to kick a very makeable field goal.
Costly error on two fronts. A, the penalty, but B, we've seen some good punts from Palmer today. That was not a good one, as it landed very short.
Yeah, definitely. I don't see any signs of wind out there, but it definitely looked like it just kind of hung in the air a little bit and came down way earlier than we've seen a lot of his boomers go.
So Wagner going to line this one up. It'll be a 32-yard kick.
Well within his range.
On the last play of the opening half here at the Apple Bowl, Isaac Wagner from 32 yards out. The kick is up, and it is through with lots of power. Isaac Wagner connects on his first field goal opportunity of the opening half. And like we say, a costly error there for the Rams will send the Sun into the locker room with a halftime lead, sitting right now at 10-7. Take a quick break, come back for some halftime festivities. That'll feature an interview I was able to do earlier this week with the president of the Okanagan Sun, Les Weiss. As well, we'll take a look at some stats, break down what we can from an opening half of football that sees the Sun on top of the Rams by a 10-7 score. Come back for halftime right here on AM 1150.
Sometimes being different can make all the difference. Tomorrow on CTV.
He sees things in ways that we can't even begin to understand.
And a gifted young surgeon with autism.
He has almost perfect recall. He has spatial intelligence.
Defy expectations against all odds.
He's breathing. He saved his life.
The inspiring series from the creator of House.
You can do anything.
The Good Doctor. All new. Tomorrow at 10 on CTV.
Win or lose, touchdown or turnover, JDS Energy and Mining is proud to support local sports in Kelowna. They believe it's important to put youth at play where they can learn to be leaders. They believe in the habits and values learned from working in a team. They believe the skills today youth learn in organized sports will strengthen our community. JDS Energy and Mining, a proud community partner of local sports in Kelowna and your Okanagan Sun.
You can rely on the Kelowna Mr. Lube team to ensure your vehicle is ready for those long road trips or just in-town driving with fluid and filter changes and so much more. Get fast, convenient oil changes, no appointment necessary, and enjoy full tire service with the same no appointment status. Plus, they're open late till 8. Take good care with Mr. Lube Kelowna, across from Superstore behind Skogie's, and coming this fall at 948 McCurdy Road, proud supporter of your Okanagan Sun.
I guess having an award-winning renovation is pretty neat. It certainly does make you feel proud that, you know, it's in your home and whatnot.
Shane on his Tommy Award-winning reno by Gord Turner Renovations.
We've always looked at our house as one step towards, you know, our next step. And now this is a home that they've created. And to tell you the truth, our kids will now probably only know one place for their whole childhood because it has become a home.
Gord Turner Renovations. They do renovations differently. Visit GordTurner.com.
It starts here. This is Okanagan Sun football on AM 1150.
Welcome back here to the Apple Bowl in Kelowna. It's halftime between the Okanagan Sun and the Langley Rams, so with the Sun leading this one by a 10-7 score thanks to a last-second 32-yard field goal from Isaac Wagner. It was the Rams taking a penalty on the final play of the half that led to that opportunity for the Sun, who put points on the board there for the 10-7 lead. Well, like I said, coming up here right now, we'll turn our attention to an interview I was able to do earlier this week, and that with the president of the Okanagan Sun, Les Weiss. Les was earlier this year given a Lifetime Achievement Award by the CJFL. That was presented to him at a game here at the Apple Bowl earlier this season. He's been here with the Sun for a lot of years, spent a lifetime of football, really, with the team, and I just wanted to get his thoughts on reflecting on that a little, as well as looking ahead in terms of the program and what it has to offer. So here my interview now with the president of the Sun, Les Weiss.
Wanted to kind of talk a little bit about your history being involved in football here in Kelowna. How did you first get involved with the Sun?
Well, my family and I moved here in 1983, and I had a young family at the time, and a gentleman by the name of Lawrence Nagy, who was a coach here for many years, had approached me about getting involved, and with my history of playing, I played at Simon Fraser back in the days with Louis Pisagli and had some pretty successful teams there, and they were looking for coaches at that time, and he phoned me up and said, would you like to get involved and start coaching? And I said, absolutely, and it's been, I think, 35 or 34 years since I've been with him, and it's been a great experience, and love being here.
Yeah, how has that kind of gone, starting out in the coaching ranks and then moving along and doing really just about everything with this team along the way? You've been, like you say, a former player, a former coach on really all sides of the ball, but how's that progression kind of gone with you, tackling tons of stuff for this organization?
Well, a number of years ago, like I said, once you know, the coaching thing kind of went along, and then a gentleman by the name of Barry Annette, Dr. Barry Annette, who started the program back in 1981, he was gone for a while and then came back in '88 and took over as president for I think 2 or 3 years after that, and then he stepped aside, and I got out of the coaching and got on the board of directors, and it kind of ran from there. We had a small band of directors at the time, Royce Hetherington, who's been here almost as long as I have, and Bob Lindsay, who've been so instrumental in this program's growth. And I jumped on board with them and just took it from there. And then, you know, I took over as a GM for 22 years. We had a very successful run there with Lawrence Nagy, and the team has always done well. There's been always community support. And I've enjoyed my time with the team, and it just basically started from there.
As you were GM with this team, talk about what it's like approaching players, getting players to come here to Kelowna to play. Have you seen that progression over the years of this program getting more widely known and more widely respected among players out there looking for a shot to play junior football?
Well, you know what, Evan? You know, there's this program is very well known. I've run into a lot of professional players who I've talked to from all over North America, from the NFL, from CFL. As amateur football goes in this country, there's not a better place to play than the Okanagan Sun. Players who have played in the NFL have it, you know, Danny Watkins, you know, Mo Ellen Weeby, who's played there, Terrence Houston, Jermaine Haley, who are here, speak so highly of this program. That it is a wonderful place to play for players who are taking a year off of college, who aren't ready to go to college, you know, and it's a great program. It's a great place to play. Makes our job very, you know, it's certainly you're recruiting against some great teams, you know, in this conference and throughout the Western Canada. But you know, kids are always, when you talk about the Okanagan Sun and playing here, kids, you know, will certainly give us a listen.
And you talked earlier about some of the names, some of the faces that were here back in the early 80s when you guys got this thing going. And does it surprise you sometimes to look around and see how many of those folks are still around with yourself today? Guys that a lot have been here close to day one, but they're still here and they're still giving to the program.
You know, it's funny you should say that, because like when I talk about the Bob Lindsays and the Royce Hetheringtons who've been involved, who have, you know, in a case like a Bob Lindsay was president here for many years, and now he's doing our 50-50. Once you get, you know, it's almost like a hook, hey, and it's a camaraderie, hey, you know, not just from the players, but from the board of directors and the people who are involved at every level. Terry Britton, one of our original trainers, is still here from 1981, who built the training room with his own hands. And those people have put their heart and soul into this organization, and you can't get rid of them, because it is a very special group of people who belong to this club, love being here. I mean, there's times when you want to pull your hair out, because it is a volunteer organization, and it's a tremendous amount of work to run this program. And those people are also valuable to this organization.
Speaking of the history, too, I mean, the room we're sitting in has quite a lot of history. this clubhouse actually burned down and had to be kind of rebuilt from the bottom up. Talk a little bit about that history element, because there's a lot of it in this room we're sitting in right now.
Well, we've replaced a lot of the history with the names on the walls. I got a call. It's funny. I got a call one night about 3 a.m. from the fire department. Said, "Hey, you had a little fire down here. Do you want to come and check it out?" And I said, "Was it that bad?" And he said, "Yeah, you should probably come down and have a look." It was extensively just done, and we had to rebuild it. And the city helped us out tremendously. We are a big part of this city. We've been here for a long time, and they recognize how valuable this organization is to it, and they threw in a lot of support for it. But as you look around, there is a lot of names here. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people who have passed, who haven't been able to re-sign the wall. But I think that there's whenever a player comes back here, they'll come up here and re-sign the wall.
Let's talk as well a little bit about where the program is at right now. In the BCFC in particular, there's been some good competition this year. Obviously, West Shore is right up there. VI Raiders have been right up there as well. But as this team looks forward in a potential playoff run, how does this team prepare for and go up against really big powerhouses out of that Prairie division as well? We all know about Saskatoon, and they came in here and showed us the strength of that program last year, for example. How does this team go in and compete with really big programs like that?
Well, you know what? I mean, when you talk about the Hilltops, it's obviously a very storied tradition there. When you go to their new stadium there, it's always hard to measure up because they have a big talent pool within the city of Saskatoon, but they also have an organization much like ourselves, that people are so proud of that organization, winning so many championships. And you look in our league, and I was saying last week, even after we played Kamloops, I know that their organization, Dino up there, who's the president of that club, has given it their heart and soul, and I honestly think that they're an up-and-coming team. And I think from a parity, we want parity. I mean, everybody in this league wants to win, and we'll all, give it our best effort. So you take it one step at a time.
That is the president of the Okanagan Sun, Les Weiss, joining me for an interview a little earlier this week. Take another break here in the halftime, come back, chat about some of the stats that we saw in that second half, and then we'll take a look ahead for third quarter action here at the Apple Bowl. It's the Sun leading the Rams 10-7. You're listening to AM 1150.
As Kelowna's premier commercial real estate brokerage, Colliers International is focused on creating value for their clients. Let Colliers help you with complete end-to-end service, from consulting and appraisal to brokerage and project management. Colliers International will help you buy, sell, lease, and manage your commercial and investment property. Colliers International, commercial real estate solutions to accelerate your success. Proud sponsor of the Okanagan Sun. Visit collierscanada.com.
25 years ago, we opened our doors. Since that time, you've welcomed us into your home. Treehouse on Spall Road is celebrating its 25th year in business. We want to thank you. A minimum 20% off our most beautiful pieces. Oh, and one incredibly lucky shopper will win their entire purchase free of charge during the anniversary sale. Sale prices and win free furniture. You're invited to celebrate with us. Make time to come see us. Treehouse. Treehouse on Spall Road in Kelowna.
Direct from Las Vegas with love and lots of laughs. An evening with the Rat Pack. That is why the lady is a friend. Dean, Sammy, and Frank performing live with the Sin City Orchestra. Monday, October 9th at the Kelowna Community Theater. Tickets on sale now at the box office or online at selectyourtickets.com.
Win or lose, touchdown or turnover, JDS Energy and Mining is proud to support local sports in Kelowna. They believe it's important to put youth at play where they can learn to be leaders. They believe in the habits and values learned from working in a team. They believe the skills today youth learn in organized sports will strengthen our community. JDS Energy and Mining, a proud community partner of local sports in Kelowna and your Okanagan Sun.
White's Barbecue and Fireplace Center, for all things barbecue.
Hey, baby, it's the king here, the Brawl King, that is. And these grills have got me all shook up. Cast iron, stainless steel, propane, and natural gas. Reassembly. Where can a man get a Brawl King of a deal like that?
White's Barbecue and Fireplace Center, corner of Springfield and Spall, for all things barbecue. White's. Put some sizzle on it. If it's time for a new ride, your timing is perfect. The selection has never been better at Kelowna Auction World. Come turn on the car you really want. Enjoy low pricing on a huge selection of pre-owned vehicles on the auction block and ready to drive home. Auction starts this Saturday at 10 a.m. at Kelowna Auction World, Highway 97 North. Okanagan Sun football on AM 1150.
Welcome back here to the Apple Bowl, awaiting second half action between the Okanagan Sun and the Langley Rams. Of course, after the first half, it is the Sun with the 10-7 lead. Well, would like to kick off our second half here as we speak to viewers not only on AM 1150, but also Shaw TV doing the game live here. Apologies on our end for some technical issues in the first half, but we're back here ready to rock here for second half action. Evan Cook alongside Carson Park. Carson, we did have some stats to get through from that first half.
Yeah, just a couple things. The Sun are just crushing it in terms of yards here, with we're at least listed 135 yards on the ground, which is huge for them. That's well above their season pace, which is already pretty high pace. With a 12-yard run for a touchdown there by Wenman on that great fake that really was allowed to happen because of how effective they've been on the ground. And the Rams had a 41-yard touchdown pass, but really that's all they've really managed to get done in the air in this game.
Right.
Beyond that, they've been really limited. Something that didn't really occur to me during the game, how limited they've been in the air. They've been fairly successful on the ground, but their offense has been pretty standard. Nothing to really write home about. Sun run game's been strong, and they're beating the Rams in the pass game too, 86-51. Anderson looks like he's going to have himself another huge game. He's got 4 catches for 69 so far, so expect him to hit 100 yards if he gets another couple of targets, which back-to-back weeks, that's big for the Sun. Quarterbacks, Wenman's under 50%, which, like we were saying, he's had a bit of issue with some of that accuracy. And on the other side, the Rams are really struggling with 1 touchdown, 1 interception, only 2 for 10. So that's huge. And the penalties are really the story of the first half. 12-8 penalties in a half of football. That's far too many for both sides. So hopefully we'll see that calm down as the second half is about to start up here.
Sun had the ball kicked to them to start the game, so Isaac Wegner leading the kickoff here to start second half of action. Line drive, which bounces around the 30-yard line, now was going to bounce out of bounds at the Langley 25.
Looked like he was looking for that bit of a chip shot into the hole of the return team that the Sun have loved to try to find this season. Just rolled out of bounds on him.
Saw the flag get thrown there. Didn't hear exactly what the call was on the field, but
just illegal kick out of bounds.
Right, of course, yeah. So that's why that line of scrimmage will get moved up here to the 40-yard line. 1st and 10 here for the Rams. Decent field position, but you heard pregame their head coach, Jeff Almolda, talk about execution and being able to come away with big plays. As here's a run up the middle, still on his feet there. I believe that was Joe Carter, who took it all the way up across the 45.
Had he broken outside rather than inside, he might have been able to get on his horse and go off to the races there, but pretty sure he only broke back inside because he couldn't free his foot from those tacklers he just shed. So way to hold on there for the Sun.
And on the theme of execution, things that are fresh in my mind early on here for the Rams have just been unable to put up points off of Sun penalties, of which there have been a lot. Here's another rush up the middle. That one towards midfield. Ball came out at the end. Sun think they've got it. It's Carter
Eli
on the ground,
Haynes.
and Eli Haynes hands the ball to the official. But it doesn't look like...
We have a man down, though, and he looks pretty hurt.
Now the call is made. Sun football. But you're right, a Ram is down on the field back behind the play.
I think that might have been Eli on the forced fumble, too. We're going to get another look at it here. Oh, no, that's, Eli Haynes on the forced fumble as it's going down, and it lands on him, and he just recovers it. That was beautiful ribbon strip.
Yeah, sure was. Haynes strips his man of the ball. Like I said, that was Joe Carter on the run there, who'd picked up a gain of about 5 the play before. And
Carter's had himself a great game, too, so that fumble is going to cost him, but he's had a great game up to that.
Well, and the point I was trying to make before there about execution, things that come to mind right away for the Rams, not taking advantage of all the Sun penalties, which has given them a lot of good field position on offense here so far today, and we've just seen the one touchdown to this point in the game.
Yeah, they're often when teams become one-dimensional, it's that they can't get the run game going, and they become dependent on just throwing the ball every play as they get behind in the game and they need to pass. And right now, the Rams, their run game is looking strong, and it's getting the yards that they need, and they're getting second and short pretty regularly. But their pass game it's going to cost them this game if they can't get some completions strung together and get a drive or two going and get some points on the board off of some of these penalties.
No kidding. And like you mentioned when you were running through the stats, I mean, 51 yards of offense through the air in that first half, but 41 of those yards came on one play. That was the Kalik Johnson touchdown pass. So you subtract that play, just 10 yards through the air in that first half.
Yeah, and just something we were talking about a couple weeks ago with Chilliwack is they have a pretty strong defense, but they just can't get off the field, and it wears them down. Well, right now the first downs are 12-4 for the Sun. So that's going to wear down this Rams defense if they cannot get off the field more frequently and get kept off the field by an offense that can put a drive together for a few minutes and give them a break.
Injured Ram was Cody Cruz. Makes his way off the field, so now we're good to go. 1st and 10 on the Langley 54 for the Sun. Screen pass here to Anderson. He charges up toward the 50. He'll get brought down at close to the 51-yard line of the Rams there. Going to be a gain of about 3 for the Sun.
Yeah, it was
lining up 2nd and 7.
Kyle Claret trying real hard to rip the ball out there at the end, trying to get that back to the Rams, because this defense definitely needs a big play, get a turnover to spark this team back into this game before they're down 2 scores.
Ball spotted at the 52, so officially a gain of 2 on that catch for Anderson. 2nd and 8 for the Sun. Empty backfield out of the gun here is Wenman, rolls to his left immediately, gets it away, a huge hit throw in 2, and it is going to fall incomplete. Javen Cakeley lined up in the slot over the far side, but Wenman took a big hit before he got that ball away.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the pass protection's supposed to be there, because they're just leaving the D-end a free run to chase Wenman down and hit him, and they're just trusting that their play develops and he gets the ball off before he gets hit. I don't know, if that D-end gets a good jump, that's going to get broken up bad, and it's going to turn into a bad hit for Wenman in the back.
Another injured Ram is down on his knee out by the 40-yard line, and so that's going to take us to another little bit of a delay here.
That's going to keep happening with greater frequency if this defense can't get off and stay off the field for a few minutes, because you just start to wear down, and when you start to wear down, you start to get hurt, especially when the other team still feels fresh. And when you're on offense, there's something about when you know what the play is, you're always fresh, and when you don't know what the play is and you're reacting, it wears you down so much more. And the longer the Sun offense can be on the field, the better for the Sun offense and the worse for the Rams defense.
It's a great point about mental fatigue, though, isn't it? As a defense, you're always in guess mode.
And the momentum, and the mental momentum aspect of the game, all of it. It all just builds on one another.
So we're set to go here. 3rd down and 8 for the Sun, so they'll punt it away. Wagner going to step into this one at his own 50, sending it to Lund, who waits at his own 15. Lund backtracks toward his own 10, and that's where he'll get brought down.
Lund just blew a hammy.
It looked like Cody Thompson on the tackle there for the Sun, but you're right. Down in substantial pain now is Jordan Lund by the looks of it.
I wonder if this has to do with the field conditions, because we haven't had any more rain since the start of this game, but we did have quite. It wasn't even that sustained of a downpour, but it could easily have soaked this field up pretty good for softening up the turf and making it a little bit slippery, so you get those little tweaks where you're not expecting them.
It really wasn't. As Lund gets up to his feet and is able to walk off, fortunately, here for the Rams. But you're right, it was maybe 10 minutes worth of rain right at the start, but we had a heavy downpour of rain. We had a little bit of hail mixed in at the field here, too. And so lots of reasons for that field to be a little bit slippery, and we've seen some players kind of bail a couple times before. And
the track in front of us is still pretty wet, so like the sun hasn't gotten a chance to come out and dry the field off or anything either. So
no kidding. As we get down to it, 1st and 10 here. That pass toward the sideline, just an arm up there from Nick Agnoletto, knocking it down. But it's
a little surprised we haven't seen a little bit more of him today. He had a couple jet sweeps early, and the one was really successful early on, and I can't remember a third jet sweep out of him yet, which surprises me a little bit, considering if you're 1 for 2 on big plays on that, I'd expect to sneak it in somewhere.
I was almost wondering on that last play, because the throw was just over Agnoletto, who's the slot receiver. The receiver out on the sideline cut in almost like a post route would be, and the ball wasn't there. Screen pass here on 2nd down, stumbling again, that up near about the 15-yard line to Nathan Lund. So he is not going to get enough for a 1st down. Going to be, here we go, 3rd down and about 3 yards to go here, and the Rams are going to punt this one away deep in their own end of the field.
Yeah, I didn't catch a number on who the blockers or tacklers were on that last play, but looked like a great developing screenplay, and both blockers just whiffed and kind of surprised the running back. Suddenly he has to make a move.
In here to boot this one away is Palmer. Takes a bounce at the 50. Going to get caught by Simonize at his own 50-yard line. Dips around one tackler. Still looking for a hole now. He finds one up near midfield.
The ball's out.
Did the Sun
and
get it?
It looked like it was Eli Haynes diving on it. I think that was number 41 I saw. That guy is a ball hawk.
Yeah, it sure was. And Simonize goes right over to Haynes and says, "Thank you for having my back on that one." But you're right. Haynes following up Simonize as the blocker on that one, and he's in the right place at the right time again. Veterans tend to do that, get in the right place at the right time quite a bit.
Yeah, it's all about just, you have to, every breath that you take when you're on a football field, you need to be moving, and if you're on defense, or you need to be moving closer to the ball, and as a defensive player, he seems to just have a nose for it.
1st and 10, quarterback keep from the 44. Wendman on the option play there fakes the pitch out to Rodriguez and then kept it, but the Rams sniffed that one out, and it'll go for a loss.
Yeah, I think he was a little worried about Nick Westad trying to jump that toss, because he kind of did a little fake there, did a little flare out, and thought he'd be able to build a little hole underneath of it, but kind of just ran into a full D-line of players.
Ball's been spotted kind of between the 45 and the 46-yard line. 2nd down and 11. Wendman out of the shotgun, looking back to pass this one into the slot. Pass is complete out across the 40-yard line. Flag in the backfield, though.
I think we're getting a holding penalty. Yep.
Hold against the Sun is going to probably... I wonder if it's just going to be declined here, because... Okay, it's not. I just wondered because the Sun didn't get 1st down on that pass anyway.
Yeah, they're playing the field position battle at this point, especially with the struggles their offense has had. They need all the yards that they can get to get a little help for their field position. Although...
It's a 10-yard penalty. The ball was on the 45, so it should be right around midfield there.
This whole defense is offside right now. It's like, there's no way there's a 20-yard penalty going on.
Yeah, they just kept on marching there. But ball set, like I said, a yard before midfield here. 2nd and long for the Sun. We're just going to hand it off to Rodriguez here. Gets a hole, still with the ball, up to the 45, still on his feet, cuts out wide to the 40. Robbie Rodriguez is running towards the end zone at the 20, at the 10-yard line, dives out of bounds at the 5. Robbie Rodriguez with a monster run.
Well, that was unreal. Every single yard on that run is all Robbie Rodriguez. He deserved to be tackled in the backfield.
He did.
That was unreal. Isaiah Stewart, the linebacker, number 29, read that snap count again and just wandered his way straight into the backfield and just couldn't quite get the tackle in, couldn't quite wrap up Robbie. And Robbie, with a couple of changes of direction and a quick change of pace, and 25, 30 yards down the field he goes.
By my count, a 51-yard run sets up first and goal from the 5. Wenman is going to hand this one off and walks into the end zone. Another option play and Wenman keeps. He didn't catch me on the first one, but he got me to bite on that second one. Wenman with the option walks right into the end zone. The QB's second touchdown run of the game, and the Sun put more points on the board.
That one worked so well. I'm pretty sure Robbie walked into the end zone untouched as well.
Yeah.
The whole defense just didn't know who had the ball there and kind of let them both go.
Yeah, no kidding. That's a good point. Rodriguez was untouched too, as he went right up the middle, right underneath those goalposts. Wenman to the left of his running back was able to walk in fairly easily there too. So Wagner out to kick the extra point. That one is up, and that one is good, and that'll extend the Sun lead here to 17-7, 10:31 left to go in the third quarter. We'll take a quick break from the Apple Bowl. You're listening to Okanagan Sun football right here on AM 1150.
There's more to eating than you think. Incisors cut the food. Canines tear the food. Molars and premolars crush the food. Then you're ready to swallow.
Make sure your teeth are in fighting shape so you can enjoy what you're eating to the fullest with the team at Kelowna Dental Center. They have extended hours so you can get an appointment in the evenings and even on Saturday.
Did I hear Saturday?
Yep, on Springfield and Gordon, or Google Kelowna Dental Center.
Under the helmet and between the 50s. This is your all-access pass to Okanagan Sun football on AM 1150.
Welcome back to the Apple Bowl in Kelowna. The Okanagan Sun with a 17-7 lead over the Langley Rams here. Nick Wenman with a 5-yard run for the latest touchdown. That on top of a 16-yard TD run by the quarterback back in the first quarter. So Wagner going to kick this one away, angles it towards the sideline, caught at the 20-yard line, and tackled immediately out across
That's
the 25. That was Rashawn Simonize.
Beauty. I've been waiting to see him make a special teams play on defense because I see him out there all the time, and he's got the wheels for it. There we go, making a great play, being the first one down the field. He's excited, too.
He's pumped up, heading off the field there for Simonize.
Oh. Free kick.
Oh, no, and that's just going to get completely negated there. An offside call against the Sun.
All right, well, Simonize, run down there and tackle him again because you need to go get that tackle stat.
It was Joel Clausen on the return there who got maybe 5 yards before a diving Simonize wrapped him up.
Especially those longer, taller receivers. You don't see those guys on the special teams units all that often, especially making tackles. And seeing a longer, tall, athletic guy like Simonize flying down the field, it's great to see.
Yeah, sure is. As we saw on the offensive side of the ball, him come in hot really a couple of weeks ago against the Valley Huskers in that game in Chilliwack. A couple of touchdowns in that game for Simonize, but it's been special teams with him tonight that's been gotten the fans talking. Kick is down to the 30-yard line. Clausen once again on the return, picks it up, works his way up near the 40. That's where he's tripped up. So the offside call there works to the Rams' favor off the re-kick. They get about 10 yards more field position on that return from Clausen.
And Kyle Claret over there on the far side, matching up to Simonize, not letting him fly down quite as untouched. Oh,
looks like a Ram. That's Khalif Johnson, who is hobbling kind of on one foot. I
don't know if that's a cramp or if he's got some sort of spasm, but
yeah, he looks to be in a little bit of discomfort here. But he'll jog out to be the receiver on the wide side here. 1st and 10 for the Rams. Looking back to pass here, we're going to change a quarterback as it's complete. Or no, it's not up the middle. Ryan McDonald couldn't.
You need to squeeze those, man.
Yeah.
Well, it is Richard hitting him there deep in the secondary.
Tough hit, but what would have been good enough for a first down here Off a catch from Ryan McDonald, who goes in incomplete. 2nd down and 10 for the Rams from their own 40. Mentioned a change of quarterback. That's Stephen Laguerre, who actually appeared as a little bit as a quarterback last year for this Rams team. Colby Peters not out there. Laguerre under center, out of the shotgun here, looking back to pass once again. Under pressure, there's a pass out the middle. This time it's caught by McDonald at across the 40 down to the Sun 35. Ryan McDonald, 2nd time's the charm on that one.
There's that soft seam. That's really the Sun weak point, is that soft seam just outside the hash marks. And they get burnt again for another big play there, but their DBs need to communicate better and really close those windows sooner, because they're going to keep getting burnt there if they can't figure out how to close that door on teams.
35-yard catch for McDonald, who I think has been targeted a few times today, but I think that's his first completion to him.
And like the rest of the field, really, there's nowhere to throw it except that seam.
Laguerre going to hand this one off this time. On the far side, Ryan McDonald on the rush this time as he gets brought down at about the 30.
Kalik Johnson blocking 2 players out there. That was some impressive effort. That was awesome.
Yeah, sure was.
Blocking his corner, driving him off the ball, and then peeling back for the backside block. That was awesome. If every Langley Ram played that hard every play, this would be a different score right now.
Yeah, Johnson, the nice block there on Fullerton coming across. You see Ryan McDonald run from time to time. And kind of on those sweep routes where he's in motion is normally where he comes into the offense. But a gain there of about 5 yards, going to be 2nd down here. Back to passes. Laguerre over to the far side, complete to Agnoletto. He's tackled immediately, but it is going to be good enough for a 1st down. And that'll move the chains here for the Rams, who are getting deeper into Sun territory.
This is something we did not see any of in the first half, is sustained Rams drive by a couple completions.
Yeah, exactly. Laguerre into this game, and of course the one big 35-yard reception to McDonald, but he's just tried some shorter types of passes, not trying to extend the field. As a handoff here to Nathan Lund, cuts to the outside, past one tackle, still on his feet, reaching towards the goal line, and he'll get knocked out of bounds. Looks like at about the 3-yard line.
Yeah, that was seemed like Lund knew as soon as that ball was snapped, he was going to be going 100% full sprint, because yeah, he almost got by the quarterback before he took the handoff, and then really raced to the corner quicker than anyone was expecting him to, I think. The contained really lost it there.
Yeah, Nathan Lund with a big gain there. Going to be 1st and goal. Looks like ball is being spotted at the 4. Fullback Michael Beck jogs onto the field. But it looks like Laguerre's was wondering what the formation would be. Still out of the shotgun here. Going to hand this one off to Lund. Tries to bowl his way towards the end zone, but he'll be brought down short, either right back at the line of scrimmage or maybe a slight gain on this one. But it brings up 2nd down for the Rams.
Yeah, interesting to see what their options are here, because their run game has really been either tackled in the backfield or 5 to 10 yards. So a 3-yard run, that's we'll see how that works. The Sun's going to stack the box and try to get into the backfield here. And they just haven't had the sort of completions that you'd want to rely on putting the ball in the air in this point of the field.
Laguerre in a 2 running back set right now. Going to hand this one off. Spin move there from Lund, but he's still got nowhere to go. Wrapped up by the Sun, bringing up 3rd down here. Okay, an interesting call here for the Rams, down by 10 points. I mean, you still need the field goal to tie, but are you going for it here?
I think they're kicking the field goal. Yeah, we got big number 39 jogging out onto the field. Just, you want to close it to that one-play game, that one-score game. If it was a one-score game right now, I would definitely be going for it, especially where we are in the game. But that 10 points, you need to close it to 7.
This is Wayne Palmer out for a field goal attempt from 10 yards away. That kick is up, and it is well good. So Palmer connects, and like you say, it's back to a one-score game with the Sun lead cut to 17 to 10. 5:42 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Take a quick break, come back on the other side. This is Okanagan Sun football right here on AM 1150.
There's a perfect time to get behind the wheel of a new Mercedes-Benz, and that time is now. For a limited time only, take advantage of incredible offers on some incredible vehicles. Enjoy lease and finance rates from 0.9% on select new 2018 models. Plus, receive 3 monthly payments. Yes, now's the time to drive off with one of the season's most exceptional offers. Visit your authorized Mercedes-Benz retailer or mercedes-benz.ca today.
You're listening to Okanagan Sun Football on AM 1150.
Welcome back here to the Apple Bowl. The Okanagan Sun lead cut now to 17-10 after a 10-yard field goal on that last play from Wayne Palmer. So the Rams set to kick this one off from their 45. After long stretches there in that first half, without points in the last 2 series for either team. Sun going to return this one from their own 10-yard line. That's Connor Richard with speed up near the 20, now the 30. Still on his feet, cuts to the outside. Palmer misses the tackle. The kicker, as he's still on his feet, out to the 30-yard line is Richard. Richard takes a look behind him, and he's going to waltz all the way into the end zone. Touchdown. There are flags, though, on the field, so this one might be coming back.
Well, that was exactly what I was hoping to see with Richard getting the ball in his hands. He's just too strong of a runner, and he actually has the wheels to go with that strength, and not a whole lot you can do against that when you're trying to tackle it to the ground, but looks like we're going to get a penalty on this play, pulling the ball all the way back, which is going to be a little disappointing for Connor. I'm sure he was excited about getting his first house call on a kickoff. looks rather tired out there, too.
Yeah, and an illegal block penalty called there on the Sun. I mean, kind of appropriate with the way things have gone so far for Okanagan today, where a big play called back on penalties, which have just really bit them so far today.
Yeah, that was predicted earlier, wasn't it? The big play is going to get called back on a penalty because just the way the game's been going, both these teams really struggling to keep their infractions away from the eyes of the ref.
As your stats told us there in that first half, I believe 12 penalty calls on the Sun for 100 yards worth of them, and that, like we were talking about, that's pretty close to what the Sun average over the course of a game, which is 13 penalties for 118 yards.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what the penalty stat looks like on that last play. That's like a 100-yard penalty right there.
Yeah, no kidding. So it's going to be 1st and 10 here for the Sun. And a handoff over to the outside, taking things up to about the line of scrimmage there, which is at the 20-yard line. Robbie Rodriguez on the carry. Looks like he will gain a yard on that one. 2nd and 9 maybe coming up.
That is one thing that I've been waiting for over the course of the season, is for the Sun to give somebody a chance to really take over the game at running back with how skilled their running back crew is. They have 5 guys who could take over a game and really haven't given anyone the shot yet to, except for this game.
Rolling out to his right is Wenman, fakes one pass, keeps going, pointing upfield, wants a block or two as he slides out near the 30-yard line. That looks close, but maybe just shy of a first down. I'd imagine we'll get a measurement on this one.
And just, they're marking him a couple yards.
Oh, okay, they're saying he didn't quite get up to the 30-yard line where he initiated that slide. Going to be a couple yards short of a first down.
Yeah, just going back to Robbie for a second. On that last play, great cut block on the backside rush, which is the rush that's been really getting to Wenman as he's been letting go of the ball and punishing him more than I think I'd like to see my quarterback punished. Oh, we have a man taking a knee here.
Yeah, that's what comes in for the Rams. That's Cameron Cross, big linebacker for them. Cameron Cross out of Vernon, who we've seen some big hits laid by him earlier today, and he's able to get up and jog off to the sideline rather quickly here. Rene Sensio in to replace him in the linebacker position. 4:04 left to go here in the third quarter. Sun prepping to punt this one away. It's Wegner back there to let this kick go. That one, nice one, end over end to the Langley 45. Missing one tackle in the backfield. There is Lund, turns away from one as he's getting tackled to the ground. That He actually never got to the ground on that tackle.
Yeah, I don't know about that whistle. I would like to see that play out a little longer.
That was Cole Strager, who had all kinds of hands all over the big back Nathan Lund on that return. But like I say, maybe a little bit of a quick whistle brings us to a 1st and 10 for the Rams. They're going to be set up at their 44. Yeah, that's true.
I was pretty sure he got over that line, but not before the whistle, apparently.
Yeah, they're calling forward progress there for the 44-yard line is where we're 1st and 10. Here's a pitch to the outside. This one's a Lund. He's up towards the 50 out across. Looks like we'll see this ball get spotted at about the 53-yard line. That's going to be a yard short of a 1st down. Nice 9-yard rush for Nathan Lund there, with the Rams kind of giving the Sun a bit of a dose of their own medicine there on that pitch to the outside.
Yeah, the quick pitch is a slightly more dangerous run with having the ball in the air for a second. Those are always more dangerous than just a quick handoff, but it does let you get outside into the sidelines a lot faster.
Yeah, we even saw the one earlier where a bit of a ball by the Sun is right off the handoff. The Sun wrapped up Joe Carter. Was just about to mention that we haven't seen his name called a lot so far in this second half here. Joe Carter, who had some nice runs earlier in the game, but a good read by the Sun D, who are all over the timing on that snap and wrapped him up near the line.
Yeah, that was Cody Thompson there meeting him at the handoff almost. And a little surprised I haven't been saying his name as much lately, but Eli Haynes has just been taking up too much room in that middle with Connor moving over to half.
Yeah, Thompson, one of those guys that Ben McCauley mentioned that he's going to have to step things up with Sean Robinson out of the lineup. It's a huge punt, going to send the Sun all the way back towards near their own goal line. Picking it up near there is Curry, who dodges a couple of tackles up to the 20, and that's where he'll get brought down. A late flag comes in at the end of that play.
Sun got really lucky and did not get roughing the kicker. I almost missed the start of that return just staring at the refs, waiting for a flag to come out.
Right.
I'm not really sure why there wasn't one that came out. We'll see what this flag is on the other end of the play.
Yeah, no kidding. As Palmer, it was a nice big kick, too, as he sent Curry back over his head to pick it up inside the 5-yard line. Based on where the Sun are jogging back to, looked like the penalty might have been on them, but
an illegal block right off the start. Because I figured it was either going to be an illegal block or the no yards, but those are occasionally difficult to tell because just the way the plays develop on punts, often there will be an illegal block that forces someone into the 5 yards. And if you don't notice the illegal block, it looks like somebody's just like, why is he a yard away?
Well, just the timing of the flag was what confused me because it came right in at the end of that, whereas normally you'll see that no yards flag right at the start of the return. And based on where they're spotting the ball, it looks like so I guess those penalties essentially offset because the ball was spotted at the 19, which is kind of where Curry got to on that return.
Effectively they do, but I think Curry loses out on all those yards, unfortunately.
Right. So 1st and 10 here from the Sun 19. Handoff to Rodriguez, catches another hole. Now up to the middle of the field, tries a hurdle. He's not going to hurdle him cleanly, gets down at about the 35, but some airtime there for Robbie Rodriguez.
Very much so. He's been lowering the shoulder on that safety all day, and I think he thought that he was going to get his legs cut out from under him, and safety just stood up and said, no, not today.
That's Nathan Murray in the Rams secondary, who has become familiar with the bottom of Rodriguez's shoes here today, as he's now tried that a couple of times. The first, a clean hurdle, too, back in the first half.
Robbie's vision is just phenomenal. Like, these holes aren't huge, and he has to kind of wiggle to find them, but the O-line's making them, and he's finding them.
Wendman hands it off to him once again here, cuts up the middle across the 40-yard line. After a 11-yard run from Rodriguez the last time, he'll gain about 5 this time. But unfortunately for the Rams, it seems like the injury bug's really been biting them today. Another Ram down on the field.
Yeah, there's just something really pretty about that last run. I know it wasn't very long, but that subtle hesitation he had in the backfield to just kind of open that hole up. I think I mentioned earlier in the season trying to compare the running backs to their NFL counterparts in terms of styles.
Yeah.
Very Le'Veon Bell, patience-esque, where just a little hesitation and just wait for somebody else to move themselves out of your way instead of trying to convince them to do it.
Yeah, for Rodriguez, he's been fun to watch here so far this afternoon, and had that 50-plus yard carry earlier in the quarter that almost went for a big score.
I'm sure, I have to go check the stats here whenever we're on break again, but I'm sure Robbie's got to be closing in on 200. He's been the feature back today, which is something we haven't seen the Sun roll with a lot this season, and at halftime they were at 130, and they have a 50-yard run in this half by Robbie, so he's got to be closing in.
Yeah, no kidding. As looked like the injured Ram was D lineman Adam Marchetti, so he's up and walking off the field now. Brings up a 2nd down and 4 yards to go here for the Sun from their own 41. Handoff here to Abdi. He rolls up across the 45. That should be good enough for a 1st down. Forward progress has him up around the 46, 47.
I'm not sure about that whistle either. I get it because you have almost every player on the field in on that scrum, but he's still pushing. I think the pile's still going in the right direction, and I'd just like to see if the pile can fall away and if he'll be the last one standing to wander out for a touchdown. Those are those exciting sort of power plays are what make Marshawn Lynch and most football games so exciting.
Yeah, exactly. Plays like that where it looks like the play's slowing down, then all of a sudden they just break the pile and just go. Back in motion here for the Sun on 1st down. Wenman to pass, drops back, fires it up the side. Anderson trying to lay out and come up with a catch. He was in tough coverage with Kieran Benedito, and that'll bring up 2nd down for the Sun here.
Yeah, he just couldn't quite get the release on the defensive back there on that little hand fight on the outside, but that's one of the more subtle parts of football, but probably one of my favorite parts is the wide receiver DB hand fighting. As they run down the field beside each other, it almost looks like they'll be holding hands and trying to fight over whose hand is on top of the other person, and whoever's hand is on top has the advantage position. And just those little fights, and that's how guys get that last yard or two of space at the end of their route just as the ball arrives, is getting that dominant hand position and separating themselves. And defensive backs, they're fighting to not allow that to happen. It's the whole game of football is just 10 different little martial arts battles going on at once, and it's great.
In all that excitement, too, the clock ran down for the 3rd quarter, so the teams flip sides of the field here. 4th quarter now underway. Sun with a 17-10 lead. They're 2nd and 10 from their own 46. Nick Wenman working out of the shotgun here to pass. This one, a screen over the top to Rodriguez. He's got space, too, to work with as he cuts in across the 45, dodges one tackle, still on his feet at the 30-yard line, trying to get away from a tackler who's trying to strip the ball out of his grasp. He will get tackled at the 30-yard line. Kyle Claret was trying to rip it away from Rodriguez, who has another huge gain.
I'd be willing to bet money that Kyle Claret wears number 21 because of Charles Woodson. He loves going for those strips, and that's just a classic Woodson sort of move. Just, I see you're not holding the ball tight enough. I'll take that, thank you.
And after all that, an offensive hold will negate the game for the Sun.
I was sort of hoping that would be roughing the passer with the screenplay. Those are a little more common because the rusher gets a little too excited about being in the quarterback's face. But a hold brings that big play back.
Yikes, as that is going to bring up 2nd and 20 now, all the way back on the 36. But what would have been a 45-yard reception or thereabouts for Rodriguez brought back here. 2nd and long. Wenman with the stutter. There's a handoff to Abdi. He'll cut out across the 40-yard line. Gets up near the original line of scrimmage at the 46, where that's about as far as Abdi Nazir Abdi can run that ball, and that'll bring up 3rd down here for the Sun.
Really liking these draw calls by the Sun. They've been pretty effective, too. That one didn't quite get as many yards as they needed it to, but earlier on in the game, they had that long 15 or 20-yard run from a draw, and for whatever reason, the Rams aren't seeing those coming yet, but especially on those second and longs, they should be more obvious. The Sun sell them very well, though. If you watch, I'm sure nobody's going to do this, but if you watch film on the Sun versus the Rams draws, the Sun draw just looks more convincing as a pass.
No kidding, as the Sun back to punt this. Wagner end over end out near the 25-yard line. It's Lund back on the return. Nathan Lund out across the 40. Almost looked like he dropped the ball, but officials right near there saying that if he did, he at least kept possession. So still going to be Rams football here. Up near the 40 was the return from Nathan Lund. Going to be spotted at about the 38-yard line.
That's what happens when you get the swarm tackles in, is the ball pops out. The second, third contact, if it hits the arm that's carrying the ball or the ball itself, it pops out with some decent regularity. Sun swarming defense is great at that. This Rams defense not quite as swarming. They got that one Kyle Claret who loves going for the ball, but if he doesn't have another guy already securing the tackle or coming in to pop the ball loose, then it just doesn't come. It doesn't happen.
1st and 10, ball on the 38-yard line. Remember, new quarterback Stephen Laguerre back to pass here. Under pressure, gets the ball away, and it's going to be caught out near midfield. A nice catch.
That was a beautiful throwing catch. Threw it in the perfect window. He has a torso in his chest and in his back as the ball's getting released, and puts it to the perfect spot where only his receiver can catch it while he's being tackled by 2 or 3 guys. That was phenomenal.
Yeah, Nick Agnoletto, who's basically in double coverage at that point. So we're going to get another look here. Laguerre airs it out nicely, and yeah, right between 2 defenders. One on his back, one right in front of him. Good catch there from Agnoletto. It's going to be 1st and 10 here, just across midfield. There's a pitch and catch to Kalik Johnson. He's going to get wrapped up right around the 50-yard line.
That was a great catch there, but he couldn't really turn it into anything.
Yeah, just wanted to get by that first tackler, and if he had Johnson with the speed and the range, that he could have picked up a big gain there. But a good tackle by the Sun, stopping him on a 3-yard gain there. Will be 2nd and 7, ball on the Okanagan 50. 11.5 minutes left to play here in this 4th quarter. Rams looking for a score that would tie this game. Laguerre back to pass with more time up the middle and right through the hands of his receiver there. That was McDonald, who McDonald earlier in the game had that tough play where he was backtracking on a ball and allowed it to drop. That time he knew the hit was coming, and it just goes right between his hands.
Yeah, he's had some very, very frustrating drops today. 2 where he was wide open and just had it hit his hands. There he really should have brought that in for the catch and the 1st down. I know the hit was coming, but the ball made it there before the guy did. And had he even secured that and done a quick roll, he might have been able to avoid the tackle even.
Yeah, McDonald is kind of like the utility man for this team. Passes, rushes as the kick. Going to send Richard back inside his own 15-yard line. No yards flag comes down at the beginning of that run. He'll take it up to about the 28-yard line. And we'll have a 1st down for the Sun, likely, if it's a no yards penalty, likely up close to the 35.
Yeah, it should be a no yards, I think.
Officials in consultation at this point. They're right near, and it looks like we're not going to get a foul here. So 15-yard penalty was called on the Rams, but the ball is still right out near that 30-yard line. Okay, 1st down and 10 here for the Sun. Wenman out of the gun, fires to the sideline. That pass is complete to Simonize. He'll get up close to the 40. Looked like he gained about 8 yards or so on that catch.
Now, I like that attempt to try to roll out of that contact and get as many yards as he can out of that play. Quick little 4-yard hitch turns into an 8-yard play, and the second down gives you a lot of options.
Sure does here for the Sun, just trying to spot personnel out there. Okay, yeah, it is Robbie Rodriguez, who, like you say, a featured back here for the Sun, who often use a rotating cast. But it's been him with some huge gains today. The latest one negated on a penalty, of course, but he's been effective, that's for sure. Back to block here. The pass, that one is going to fall short. That was Tyson Mastrodimos lined up in the slot right at the 45-yard line, and that'll bring up third down here for the Sun.
With some of Wenman's accuracy issues he's been having today, especially on some of these shorter timing routes, I'm not sure I like that call. I would have liked to see a bit of a run, just get that first down and keep this drive going, and get a little cute with the pass, and now we're punting it away.
Yeah, third down and 2 here on the 38. So I'm going to...
Especially when you're running it as effectively as they have been running it.
Yeah, it's a fair point, and like you mentioned, on some of the longer throws from Wenman today, he's looked fine, but it's just been those shorter routes that we've seen the ball fall in short a couple of times. Hunt going to send one back near his own 30, gets up across the 35, then takes a big hit there. Looked like Beck Fullerton in on the tackle on that one. And so it'll be the Rams on their own 38-yard line to start this offensive sequence. You know, it's interesting because we talk about the Sun running game, but a player who has yet to get into action just because of some injuries on his side of the ball here so far this season is Tanner Sudo, and he's a guy who Ben McCauley is really high on. McCauley says he could be one of the best backs in the league, let alone on our team, but just some injuries have forced him out of the lineup so far this year. There's a completion over the far side, Kalik Johnson. For Sudo, he's actually played for Team Canada football before. He ended up dropping a weight on his foot in training camp, a bit of a freak accident to break his foot. And then as he was just getting ready to come back in the lineup a couple of weeks ago, he had another break in that foot in a completely different area. Just a couple of really freak injuries. Tough to see for Tanner Sudo because, like I say, his coach is really high on what he could do when he gets in the lineup. Pitch outside to Lund here. He'll hit the 45, look toward the 50, stayed in bounds till about the 50-yard line, and that's where he pops out. Nice stutter step there for Nathan Lund. The patience works out for a first down here for the Rams.
Yeah, that was a great run. Looked like he wanted to keep himself in bounds and try to fight for a couple more yards, but just that last little pop to the legs gave him a little too much momentum to carry him out of bounds.
And a good read, too, knowing where he was on the field, knowing that he was right in that first down vicinity. And so going to be ball on the 51-yard line. Rams still just inside their own half of the field. Two backs to the right of Laguerre. He's going to pass this one, though, as he gets crunched. This one, ball up, and it's going to be caught out by the 20-yard line. Looks like it was Barrios there in the secondary for the Sun. He's had an interception here this afternoon, but he was playing ball, not man there, and it ends up becoming a completion for Langley.
Yeah, the ball got hung up in the sky for a bit, and Johnson had to make a great adjustment to kind of come back to it. And Barrios just couldn't recover quick enough and get back to a dominant position and got boxed out for the jump ball, and it's a great play there by Johnson.
It sure is. Kalik Johnson, a big body to cover, too. 6'3", 195. Third-year receiver out of Vancouver.
I'm really impressed by that throw more than anything.
Yeah, as he was getting hit, that was Laguerre, who drops back to pass once again. Pump fake now keeps it. Up the middle of the field, he's got some space brought down from behind at about the 10-yard line. Stephen Laguerre, enough of a run to move the chains there. Looks like an 11-yard rush from number 11, and that'll take...
The Sun are in some serious danger of tying this football game again. Like it has felt like the Sun have dominated this game, and on the stat sheet, it really looks like they probably have. But like that last second down, second and short, and they don't convert, so they have to punt it, giving Langley a shorter field, and now they're right in the verge of scoring a touchdown here, and then it's a tie game again late in this game, and the Sun offense can't get a roll and get some points back on the board, something they've only done 3 times so far. They're staring a tie game in the face again, and that's not something they can be doing this frequently going into the playoffs, especially if they want to see themselves as a top team in this country. They can't be playing these tight games against the lower playoff seeds in their own division.
As Laguerre's rush is measured out to be good enough for a first down. Yeah, I thought when the Sun went up 17-7 here early in the half, I thought that's the moment where earlier in this season we saw the Sun start to pull away, gain that momentum. But after that score, they just haven't been able to do that today, like you say. And now after a field goal, the Rams are dangerously close to tying this game. Ball spotted on the 11-yard line here, and it looks like it's the Rams who have now called a quick timeout. 7:12 left to go here in the fourth quarter. We'll take a quick break. Come right back to the Apple Bowl with the Sun are on top 17-10. You're listening to Okanagan Sun football right here on AM 1150.
AM 1150. It's Kelowna's home for BC Lions football. Don't miss a second of the action as Wally Buono's Leos take on the best of the CFL with Grey Cup on their minds. BC Lions football on AM 1150. You're listening to Kelowna's information station, CKFR, a division of Bell Media. We are AM 1150. News, talk, and sports. From our team to yours, this is Okanagan Sun football on AM 1150.
Welcome back here to the Apple Bowl. Evan Cook alongside Carson Park with the Sun up 17-10, 7 minutes, 12 seconds left to go here in a fourth quarter that sees Langley Rams a 1st and 10 on the 11-yard line. Laguerre working out of the shotgun with 2 backs beside him. He's going to pass this one again, working towards the corner, and that one's picked off in the end zone.
Well, there's that big play we needed from the Sun to really, that Sun D needed a turnover to get this offense back on the field, because threatening to score there, that was a tie game that was saying staring them in the face. They just got turned around.
Casey Piper with the pick in the end zone, and it was a play where there were a couple of receivers in the vicinity. It was the wide receiver angling out towards the corner, and the ball just that little bit underthrown. And for Piper, he's able to go up and come up with a huge interception.
There was a line I heard watching the game this morning on TV. Too long can't go wrong, because your guy's the only guy who can get it, and he did not follow that advice there, dropping it short and getting a pick.
So now under 7 minutes to play, Sun 1st and 10 from their own 20. Here's a handoff up the middle. That one, I believe that was Rodriguez again on the carry. It was, and he'll get up close to the 25 on that first down rush.
It's just so pretty to watch. Like, is it natural? How does a guy learn to do that? These extra couple steps he puts in the backfield that just kind of change where the running lane is going to wind up being, and he'll sell 100% that he's going into the B gap, face his shoulders and his eyes there, give a couple pumps, and then just change direction into the A gap, and then it's open. So impressive.
Lemon drops back to pass a screen to Rodriguez. That one connects. He's up to the 30-yard line, busts through a couple of tackles, and he's got some open space. Rodriguez across midfield down to the 40, still on his horse to the 35, and that's where he'll get brought down. A huge gain there for Robbie Rodriguez. Another screen pass. We saw a big play like that negated from a penalty earlier in the half, not this time.
Yeah, Robbie's been doing great on those screens. They missed connecting on one early where they just didn't get quite enough air under the ball and it went incomplete. And since then, they've had 2 or 3 go for pretty big chunks. 1 or 2 have been called back, but that one went for good, what, 30, 40 yards?
That was a 50-yard run there for Rodriguez. Zone 24 down to the 34-yard line here. Rodriguez on a handoff. Here, Wenman with the keep. He goes up the middle, spins past the tackle, still on his feet. Wenman looking towards the end zone. He's got a block, cuts wide, and he will take it in for the score.
That was phenomenal. That was Nick Wendman missed the handoff, and the rule when you miss a handoff is the running back becomes the lead blocker and just run the same play. And Wendman looking like a scat speed back out there with a spin move and dodging guys in space. That was impressive running from a quarterback. And we got a flag on the play, so.
I think that one came in late after the run.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was a defensive player getting upset and an offensive player showboating, but something along those lines, I'm sure. I cannot get over how impressive that was for a quarterback run.
No kidding. Nick Wendman looked like he didn't miss a beat after that missed handoff, and
almost looked like it was designed that way. Like,
exactly.
We'll screw this handoff up, and then you can just lead block for me down the field.
Another look at it there. Rodriguez sells it well. He had a couple guys draped all over him. And, yeah, like I say, the only coverage downfield was the safety who was covering the receiver, and a block there allowed Wendman to just take it to the house. So that one on Nate Anderson, I think, for celebrating after that. Tough to pick him out of the crowd that was leaping up and down on the Sun's sideline, but that's what it'll be. And so Wagner in to kick this extra point. Penalty to be applied on the kickoff here.
That's a third rushing touchdown by the Sun quarterback. What a strange game.
It sure has been. As Wagner puts this point up, and it is good. And to extend the lead to 2 scores once again, 24-10 for the Sun. For Wendman, we've talked at points this afternoon about his struggles to find those quick receptions, those shorter receptions, but boy, he's bounced back in a way with now 3 rushing touchdowns for number 12. It's been a weird game today, but hey, the Sun will take it.
He needs to go buy Rodriguez something, lunch or a drink or something, because all of these handoffs are working, all these fake handoffs are working so well because Rodriguez has been tearing up this game. I have no idea what his yards are at now, but if he hasn't come close to matching his first half production, I'd be pretty surprised. And I think he was well over 100 in the first. So he's got to be, we got, 5 minutes left in this game? I would love to see a stat line at the end of this game that shows Robbie Rodriguez 250.
Yeah, no kidding. And it's funny because coming into today's game, his longest rush of the year was a 16-yarder. Yeah, he's blowing that out of the water by about 3 times and then some here this afternoon. So as mentioned, the 15-yard penalty enforced on the kickoff, though they've spotted at the 35, which is only 10 yards moved back from where it normally is. But here we go. Wagner to kick this one away, and he'll angle it to Clausen, who starts out near his own 30-yard line. Clausen cuts towards the middle of the field. He'll get wrapped up and brought down right away at the 30-yard line.
Trying to get a number on that because that was a great open field tackle, and there's a Ram who is down again.
That Joel Clausen on the return there.
That's
looked like he was wrapped up by Brendan Ripko, yeah.
Yeah.
A guy who's gotten exclusively special teams looks this season for the Sun, but a nice big tackle there. As trying to also identify that Ram who's coming off. That is, I think that's Kyle Claret. Yeah, I see a 21 out there.
Oh, that's too bad. He's at an active game out there. Hopefully he can feel better before their defense needs him again.
Sure has. Should mention, too, on the...
Although he's looking rough walking off the field.
Yeah. Mentioned his name from being injured a couple of times. Big Cody Cruz on the O-line. Saw him on the sideline with one cleat fully off, and he still is like that right now on his left foot. So a big body that's missing right now from that offensive line for the Rams. As back on offense is Langley, 5.5 to play. Laguerre drops back to pass, fires to the sideline. That one too far over the hands of his receiver. I think that was J.J. Jackson on the far side.
No even almost interceptions for Kitzman yet today. And right there, that one left hanging up. I almost would have liked to see him try to make a break on the ball rather than the man. But good way to get a shot in the ribs and make sure that's separated.
Of course, Kitzman with 6 interceptions already this season. One of those a pick 6.
Had a pick 6 called back as well earlier in the year, and for a while he was doing 1 a game, but think he's fallen off that. Oh, offside, I think.
Pass up the middle, tipped but still caught. What happened there?
They're calling incomplete, and that guy looks injured.
An incomplete call comes in as it was off the hands there of Joel Clausen. And I think it was Kalik Johnson who made the attempt on that ball. Diving, I thought he was able to come up with it, but you're right, incomplete was the call there. And so, boy, a tough play for Langley here, in desperate need of a score, down by a couple, and
getting stuck going 3 and out. That Sun D is just too strong. Especially that catch was really needed there too. So big play to get a pop on that catcher before he hit the ground with it.
Kalik Johnson walked off to the sideline with the trainer, and looks to be in some discomfort. So we'll watch him here as Wayne Palmer out to punt this one. It goes end over end back to the Sun 40. Going to be Simon Eyes on the return here once again. Goes one way now, the other gets tripped up at about the 45. Simon Eyes about a 5-yard return on that play as he faked one way, tried to cut back across the field, but couldn't shed a tackler.
Yeah, he's a little upset with himself. He wants a big play, and I think he's still a little upset he had one called back for him. And early in the game, he had a chance at a huge pass that he just couldn't quite catch up to. I think that was losing that little hand fight battle. He couldn't quite get the release he needed for it. And he's hunting for a big play here before the end of this game.
1st and 10 here for the Sun. Ball on their own 45. Wemmen the handoff here. This one to Abdi, who spins off a tackle and looks to gain maybe a yard or two there. And that's what it will be, 2nd and 8 off a gain of 2 from Nazir Abdi.
A little surprised we haven't seen any of the other backs today.
Wenman now under pressure, gets the ball out. It is going to go too far downfield for Nate Anderson, however.
Great rush there by the Rams, just rushed him a little too much. Good 3 and out for the Rams defense. Gives their offense another shot here before the end of this game.
Yeah, sure does. As that a crucial 3 and out there forced by the D. Clock is going to be the enemy of Langley, though, now just down to 3:51 remaining in this game.
They definitely need to find a way to string a couple mid-range completions together, get some 15s off the board, get some 15-yard chunks. Oh, and we're calling
So it looked like Langley called a timeout just before the snap on that one. And
had a man running on the field late, and I'm not sure if he was supposed to be or if they were a man short or what was going on there.
Yeah, that was Cameron Cross running out there and now in conversation with his coaches. Aldrich Barrios jogs over to the sideline to have a quick chat with special teams coordinator Jamie Borum there on the Sun sideline. Barrios, I'm not sure if I finished my story earlier, was at a basketball camp in Toronto this week, and the Sun did not think that they were going to be able to get him back here in Kelowna in time for this game. They were going to have to change a flight. It was going to cost a whole lot of money. He was able to get on a standby flight and get out here and just was able to roll in this morning to the field for the Sun. So Barrios, who by all accounts was supposed to miss this game, comes up in a big way for the Sun here today. End over and punt out near the 30-yard line. Lund on the return. He's going to cut back still on his feet. A couple of flags coming out on this return as he will get up to about the 35. That's where forward progress is stopped, and he's taken to the ground.
Yeah, that was definitely a clear block in the back. Sort of disappointing. He wanted to make that block. It didn't really need to.
Yeah, block in the back was the second flag that I saw. I think the first one was the no yards.
Okay. Yeah, that's one thing when you're running when you're trying to block a guy and he's kind of got a half step on you and any block you give to him is going to be a block in the back. The best move is you have to wait for his arm to get on the backswing, and if you can kind of can opener him, if you know the hockey term.
Right.
So you turn him enough that when he falls onto his back. Because anytime a guy's falling onto his stomach, a ref's going to see that as a block in the back. If you can make a guy turn so that when you get the hit and he falls backwards, that looks like a block in the front. It's the best way to avoid getting penalties, especially on special teams where those body relationships happen just constantly, where you're running beside one another and you don't want him to fall forward on your block.
And the way it falls out here is no yards against the Sun, and then the block in the back against Langley. So there you go. Net 5-yard penalty benefits the Rams there, moving the ball up just across the 35-yard line. 1st and 10 on their own 37. Back at quarterback, Stephen Laguerre. No back set as he looks to the sideline. Pass complete there to Cleek Johnson. He gets taken out of bounds at about the 45. They'll be short of a first down by 2 yards by the looks of it here.
That was a good first down play, though.
Yeah, you like the odds of Johnson being able to get a few yards after the catch there.
Yeah, that deeper hook, though, to Johnson was the pick that Barrios got earlier on in the game. Here's a screen that is...
Yeah, just a little bit overthrown there. That one to Joe Carter.
Just when you're throwing the screen as a quarterback, you really just need to kind of float the ball up there, and you want it to just kind of hang in the air for your running back to run it underneath. If you try to throw it to the running back, often you'll miss by a half yard, and because you're throwing it with more velocity, there's no time to adjust for the back. And right there, yeah, just put a little too much muscle on it for that 5-yard throw, and back couldn't adjust to the half yard behind him.
And so there was a little bit of confusion there, as I think both teams thought kicking unit was coming on, but no, we're in 3-down territory here. Under center is the quarterback, Laguerre, with 3rd down and a cut ball, and false start going to be called here.
Wow. Penalties in this game are just brutal.
Yeah. Here it comes. That's Nick Agnoletto, and boy, that's a back-breaking one, because from 3rd and 2, we roll now to 3rd and 7 off the procedure call there.
Yeah, it really cuts down the playbook, what you can do on the playbook on this next play.
Rams still in 3-down territory for sure here, with just 2:50 left to go here in the 4th quarter. Langley looking for that big first down play here to extend this drive.
There's our 3-minute warning.
So Laguerre working out of the shotgun here. No back set, looking to pass. This one toward the sideline, going to be caught. But no, it's dropped by Agnoletto, who, he would have been close to a first down, but it's not going to get there as the ball popped out as he came into contact with the ground, and a huge turnover on downs here puts the Sun on offense.
That was a smart move by him, though. I think he dropped it because after he caught it, he tried to mid-fall contort himself to make sure that ball was going for that first down, and without that motion, I don't think he would have made it, but with that motion, it popped the ball out, just being a little too athletic. Oh, no, he lost it against his leg there, never mind.
But a good point, because he was twisting that way, and you're right. It wouldn't have mattered whether he was
complete or not.
Complete or not, if he's a half yard short. It's all the same there as the handoff from Wenman up the middle. That's a new running back in there, Kelton Curry, with the carry here late in the 4th quarter.
I think it's the first time we've said his name in a running back capacity today.
I think so. He's had some punt returns here for the Sun. Now Nick Wenman, quick conversation over the sideline. But like we say, a funny game at times for the quarterback of the Sun, but he has had 3 rushing touchdowns, compensated some short passes with huge running gains. There's a jump ball for Simon Eyes. It just dropped.
That was a great play out there.
Whoa.
Kieran Benedito, the great swats at the high point. Simonides had both hands on it, squeezed it, perfect high point, won the jump ball, and just had the ball spiked out of his hands.
Well, for Benedito, he knows that he's not going to elevate to the same extent as Simonides, but you're right, there's the smart play there, whereas he sees Simonides coming down with the ball, then he gets the hand in, swats it away. Smart D there by the Rams.
That was a great play, especially when you're against such a mismatch problem where it's a guy who's not only taller than you, but I'd be surprised if he doesn't have the best vert on the field, too, or at least among them. The guy can get up.
Matt Panatoni in to punt this away on 3rd down. Rolls out to his right and boots it out here towards the 10-yard line, where that's where it'll bounce inside the 5. Stays in bounds. What a great kick. And going to be forced out of bounds. He's lunged inside his own 10-yard line. Matt Panatoni with a smooth punt there.
Yeah, that was a great coffin corner there by Panatoni. Perfect placement. And that's the thing they rotated him in for, though, is he does that weirder rolling soccer kick. But it gives him, I think, a little bit more control on those mid-range precision punts, whereas Wagner really, he lines up and just boots it straight down the field if he can, and there you just need as much distance as possible. And really two different styles.
They sure are, and we've seen Wagner take over for chunks of this game for sure, but Panatoni with a nice one there. As the Sunshine finally makes an appearance with 2 minutes left here in the football game. First down play, pass toward the sideline. That one to be caught by Johnson.
That was a great play there, getting the catch and getting out of bounds.
Yeah, it looked like he faked like he was going to cut in and then went back out of bounds. Going to be a gain of about 5 yards there by the looks of things. 2nd down and as many to go here for the Rams, hemmed up in their own end of the field. Back here to pass out of the shotgun. That one was
just an ugly pass.
Yeah, not that close to the receiver. That was J.J. Jackson, who didn't even make a move on the ball, that ended up landing about 3 yards away from him there.
And we do have a punt team coming out. Real late to be punted. 3rd and 5. I know they're real deep in their own end, but you're down by 2 touchdowns. You need a score here ASAP. And I don't know about this. Or I would watch very carefully for the fake.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something here? Is
pretty deep to be doing a fake, but
yeah.
I mean, if you're going to do one, this is the time to do it. Down by 2 scores late in the game, inside 3 minutes.
Palmer's lined up at his own goal line. Has Clausen in motion cutting out from behind him, and it is going to be a punt. This one out towards the 50-yard line, where will be caught there by Simonides. Cuts to the outside with a couple blocks in front of him. He's down to the 30-yard line, hits the pile, rolls out of bounds. Late flag comes in there after I think it was just a bit of a late shove out of bounds. Didn't look like anything too serious, but late flag coming in there for some more penalty yardage to be applied.
Yeah, lots of fabric on the field today. Wonder who that's even going against. If that's Simonides and the late extra shove on the stiff arm, or if that's somebody else getting a little shovey on the sidelines, and the no yards penalty as well.
Yeah, unclear who that late penalty is going to be called on. Referee here to make an announcement now.
It was for that extra little shove on the stiff arm.
Yeah, Simonides, who...
Remember Spencer Schmidt? I haven't seen him get that many targets today, but he's been on the field a lot. He's out there again right now.
Yeah, Schmidt, who had the one early reception back in the first quarter.
Although he... Okay.
Hasn't had a target since then. As Wenman lining up under center out in the I formation. Handoff here, Kelton Curry. Going to roll wide, cut back towards the middle of the field. Still rumbling out across the 40-yard line. And it looks like he'll gain about 5 on the carry here. Clock down to 1:31 left to go in this game. With the Sun trying to extend this possession to run the clock out here. So thinking back to week 3, where the Sun came away with a 34-17 win in Langley, kind of a similar game here where it was close for much of it, for about 3/4 worth, before the Sun pulled away late. Handoff here, this one up the middle. That time, I believe that was Aiden Hennessy who was lined up with the fullback position, and it is. He gains enough there for a first down, but gain of about 6 yards for big number 35.
That was a good little quick hitter.
I believe that's the first carry for Hennessy as well, getting into the game late here. Out of the eye, go the Sun here. Going to be a handoff this time. Curry jukes back towards the middle of the field, got past a bunch of tacklers down right around the 15-yard line.
That was a great reversal of field. Just start start his stretch right, and just hit the brakes and find the back door on the left side. And I love that little that turn he did to cut up on the safety. Very, very much like Rodriguez has been doing a lot today. Just plant and turn and plant and turn.
Kelton Curry, who was a big part of the Sun offense, like I say, back in week 3. He picked up 2 touchdowns in that game, getting some late touches here in this one. Just 33 seconds left with Wenman on the handoff. Fake there. Finds Anderson at the 10-yard line. Trying to bust between a couple players. Drops the ball. But it's out of the goal line. And the Rams going to pick this one up. Take it all the way back out to about the 16-yard line. A flag came out just as...
Sun are lucky he blew a tire on that, because I think he could have gone all the way house. Flag on the play, I'm not sure what that's going to be for. Pass interference one way or the other. Maybe.
Yeah, well, it was interesting, the timing, because it looked like it came out...
At the fumble.
At the fumble.
Yeah, but...
Here's the play action you see from Wenman, finding Anderson rather easily. And then, as he kind of sandwiches between a couple of tacklers, fumbles the ball right near the goal line. It was Nathan Murray coming up with it.
Sun got real lucky. Wenman's tackle worked because he barely got anything on him.
A 15-yard penalty on the Sun offense there.
I think that was on Simonize too, but I have no idea what he did or even was around to do to get a penalty for it. Missed that entirely on both the live and the replay we got this week.
Sounded like the refs might cut out for a second there. He didn't give a signal, so I didn't hear exactly what the penalty was for, but nonetheless, 1st and 10 from the 33, back on offense of the Rams. Pass here to Jackson. He's going to get run back towards the 35. Forward progress will keep him at about the 37 or the 38. Going to be the 38-yard line there, 2nd down. 5-yard catch from J.J. Jackson. Just 14 seconds left in this ball game. With the Sun well en route to finishing the home half of the regular season in an undefeated way. Here's a pass over to the outside. That one is going to be caught by Johnson. He gets right over and brought down. Just
tried
shy
to turn
of the 45. Yeah, was trying to look for maybe a bit of a reverse or a bit of a play to extend that one there, but didn't happen there, as that play will take us down to the final buzzer, and this game is over. The Okanagan Sun, it looks tense at moments here in this afternoon's game, where they pull away late and come away with a huge 24-10 victory over the Langley Rams. And so, as we mentioned, for the Sun up next for them, the big win today, opening up things against the West Shore Rebels in a battle for first place in Langford next week. The way it is now, the Rebels with a record of 8-1 through 9 games. The Sun with a record of 8 wins and a tie through 9 games. And so it all comes down to next week, a rematch that dates back to week 1, where the Sun beat the Rebels 19-15 here at the Apple Bowl. Carson, maybe just to expand a little bit on the thoughts that we were sharing throughout the game today, the Sun, really the story of this one, their run game and how powerful it was leading to the victory today.
Oh, man, that run game was impressive to watch. And, well, I did miss a lot of the other backs getting their turns to cycle in. It was great to see one of their backs get the opportunity to really just take over a game and actually do it. Rodriguez, that was a phenomenal game where his O-line helped him a lot, making a lot of good holes for him to go through, but he helped his O-line out a lot too with just the way he runs to build holes for himself with the attention that he appears to give one hole and then goes to another one. It's just impressive to watch over the course of the game. And the Sun as a team, I think they did get a little lucky there towards the end. The last throw that went up for an interception in the end zone easily could have tied this game up. And then that last drive would have been for a 24-17 game instead of a 24-10 game. It would have meant something still. But they got that interception late, got their last two quick scores, and, yeah, came away with the W.
That's a great point about how the momentum could have shifted. That Casey Piper interception, you're right. I mean, if that goes for a score and it's a tie game,